見面啊！希望大家今日咧喜歡我嘅演出啦。今日咧有好多精彩嘅節目，聽講話咧今日嘅大抽獎咧非常之精彩㗎。頭獎有機會贏得指定東京旅程，連雙人機票住宿。記得今日晏晝3點半前參加啦。抽獎結果咧會喺今日5點前公佈，到時要留意 SMS 或者電話通知。得獎者咧要即日親身領獎，唔好走寶啦！一陣間咧我就會喺第7場富衛保險冠軍一哩賽同大家一齊睇馬㗎，到時見啦！
Anything like that. This is what this horse brings because he's not a muscle-bound, brazen power athlete. He's silky, isn't he, Jenny?
Oh, he's absolutely superb. He just floats, doesn't he? And he's already broken a couple of track records as well. So what the future holds, I've spoken to Zach Curtin a few times, and he has said he thinks there's still more there, which is so exciting.
Very.
Yes. David Hayes indicating that he's possibly 4 to 5 lengths better than what we've seen in a few of his previous starts. And let's not forget, he's trying to win 8 today. Beauty Generation, Lucky Swainess, so far the only horses in Hong Kong that have won 8 grand.
Winning to complete a flawless season. And what do you think, Jenny? I've been around a lot of big races, so have you. I haven't detected one sliver of doubt from the connections. Have you? Often people build in a little safety net mentally, and that's completely understandable. But I haven't heard one word of caution from David Hayes or from Zach Curtin about this horse's well-being or his prospects today.
Well, isn't that great to hear? I mean, you really want to see these horses perform at their best, and if he's had no issues whatsoever, David Hayes has often said that, look, after a race, he eats up really well. He just does so incredibly well, bounces out of the box, and it's like he's never had a run. So he is a horse that thrives on racing, and let's hope we can see it all unfold again here today.
And of course, before QEII Rising was on track here, as we bring in Paul Lally and Nick Child, Lucky Swainess was the big sprinter here in town. He's back, but it's a very stiff task for him today. First up.
Oh, it's huge, Tom. We can't really escape that at all. 385 days off the track. It's a very, very long time, of course. Winner of this race a couple of years ago. He's back on track here this afternoon. But what of Lucky Swainess? I mean, this would be arguably Manfred Mann's training performance of his career.
It would be. It'd be an amazing training performance if he gets him up to win. He's won 2 trials leading into it. He's a currently 10 to 1 chance, so there is a little bit of market support for him. So some punters think that he can topple the world's best sprinter there in QEII Rising. He's currently 1.1.
What about the bridesmaid in the room, Helios Express? I mean, he will be sick to the back teeth of seeing QEII Rising, but second place prize money is usually not that bad, but he'd love to beat him.
He would definitely love to beat him. I mean, I think the way he's going to start winning races again is when he steps back up and trip and he doesn't have to race against QEII Rising, and we have seen him win over a mile before Helios Express.
We certainly have indeed. Well, it's a cracking race coming up, Tom, as we come back to you, Graham and Jenny in the parade ring. Can't wait for it. QEII Rising back on deck this afternoon.
And don't forget, we're betting through the World Pool this afternoon. We can start, Jenny, with Lucky Swainess, the first time he's been seen on the racetrack for over 12 months after winning the Sprint Cup in 2024.
Yes, well, he's had an injury, of course, and obviously 385 days fresh into this race, and he has been a fantastic horse over the years as well. He's now a 6-year-old, and he is a winner of, in total, 16 races here in Hong Kong. So he's no slouch. He actually looks really well. He's nice and healthy. Whether or not he's 100% fully tuned, I suppose I've just got to query that a little bit, but he's only 3 pounds over his normal racing weight. So he's very healthy. He's really relaxed. He does need a little loosen up in front, and that used to be the case as well with him, but he's bandaged in front as well. So I would leave him there more as a place chance.
Here we have Kaying Rising, the world's highest rated sprinter on screen. Jenny, how does the champ look?
Fantastic. He's just such a beautiful horse. He's such an athlete. He's keen, but in a good way. Coat's absolutely superb, walking out nice and freely. Could not be any fitter. Looks really healthy and well. He's actually dropped 12 pounds, but he doesn't look light. He just looks very fit.
Okay, Victor, the winner now here, Graham. He's a Group 1 winner, but he's not been in the same sort of form recently.
Absolutely. I think he has a role to play, Tom, because he's very fast. And he pestered Kaying Rising here in December and made it hard for that horse in the end. But his record has become very checkered. It's early days in his career with David Eustace, but he's not an especially easy horse to weigh up or assess at the moment, Jenny.
No, look, he's not. And, we haven't seen the best of him for a little while, so just might have lost his way a little bit, this horse, since he travelled. He does present quite nicely, though. I will say that. There is nothing wrong with him physically. He's not an overly tall horse, but he's beautifully put together, very neatly, nicely put together. He looks nice and healthy. His attitude is good, and he's as fit as he can be. So he actually presents well. Helios
Express, so much the bridesmaid is Helios Express. And he's up against Kaying Rising once again this afternoon.
Yeah, isn't he what? Poor fella, he should have won more races, but he's run into a superstar, so it's made it very difficult for Helios Express. He looks extremely fit as well, this horse. I would expect him to be running on strongly, as he often does, and he's more than likely another prize money chance. Not overly big, about your average height. Needs a tiny loosen up in front, but very fit.
What about Lugal here, Jenny? Barrier number 8 for him. He is coming into this with Yuga Kiwada riding here this afternoon, Lugal.
Yeah, he's a beautiful horse, Lugal. He's a hard one not to like from the parade. He's so big and strong. I thought, his last run probably a little bit below par last time he stepped out, so he did sit outside the lead there. Now he's bandaged on all 4 legs. He's really healthy. He's so strong in the shoulder. Looks nice and fit, behaving himself well. So he's a very nice horse. I couldn't say no about him.
Missed the break here in December, Graham. Wouldn't want to do that today.
Absolutely. He is a Group 1 winner. His last run was respectable, but when you watch the video of that big race at Chicchio, won by Satono Rev, it's not easy to make a case for a reversal today.
What about Danon McKinley, Jenny? Just sort of held his ground in Dubai. How's he parading? Your first glimpse at him?
Yeah, I thought it was a fairly solid effort actually in the Elquas, and this horse he's another really nice, neat type of horse to look at. Behaviour's terrific as well. He does appear to be walking out nicely. Yeah, very, very good attitude. He's not an overly strong-bodied horse, though, 1,009 pounds. But that weight is evenly distributed for the size of him. So he's good, but he's not a big, strong-bodied horse.
Can you entertain Danon McKinley, Graham?
I can't. I do think there are pluses for that horse, and that he's more lightly raced than a few. He's only 4 years of age, and he ran very well in Dubai. But this race is every bit as good as the Dubai race, and I think he's going to come up short.
Satono Rave, the Taka Matsunomiya winner, Jenny, he looks in terrific order. He's looked good in track work all week.
Yeah, look, I will get over to him because we're just out of order at the moment, so I just need to wait for him to come towards me now. I thought his win last time in Japan at Group 1 level was very good, and he continues to race, at high level and continues to perform as well. He ran well last time he was here behind Kaying Rising, and he looks in good order. He's an athletic type. He's got plenty of scope. He's got really good muscle strength in the shoulder as well. Walks out really cleanly. Very good attitude as well. So he's a chance. Well, I don't think he can beat the favourite, but he's a chance of running a place.
Invincible Sage, Jenny, hasn't won since this race last year on that rain-affected track, and we've also got 9 lucky with you on screen.
Yeah, so he's just about to come into my view, so I'll get a better look at Invincible Sage. Lucky with you, I know we've moved on to as well, but Invincible Sage looks well. He's a strong-bodied horse. I much prefer him on a rain-affected surface. That's where he thrives. But he's walking out nice and freely, and he looks well. He's well presented. And the 9 horse, Lucky with You, well, he can every now and again throw in a good run in these types of races, and he always looks good. Particularly in these races. So he's healthy, he's fit, he continues to walk out well as a 7-year-old. He's in good order.
Beauty Waves, interesting prep run for him, Graham, off the dirt last start.
Yeah, this would be one of the biggest shocks in a Group 1 race for a long, long time, because he's a smart sprinter, likeable horse, Beauty Waves. but he didn't really shine last week, and his rating, I think 106, leaves him way behind the best of this bunch.
It certainly does, yeah. I feel that too. I've got plenty of time for him, but this is a tough assignment in a race like this. He could not be any fitter, though, if you do happen to fancy him. He's probably going to get back a little bit, I would imagine, and he might be able to run on towards the end, but it's a very tough assignment. The horse looks well, though. He's relaxed, he's fit, he's walking out nice and casually.
Magic Control, Jenny, he's another one I'm struggling to have here at the 6 furlongs.
Well, he's actually got himself rather warm, Magic Control. He's not that he's misbehaving, he's actually behaving himself quite well, and he lacks a little bit of scope. But it's going to be a very tough assignment for him as well. Placed in 1 of 4 over the 1200, so the 1,000 metres is probably more his go.
Another one, Jenny, from a dirt lead up is Co-Partner Prance. Tough for him today.
Co-Partner Prance is going to be a big assignment for him as well. He's done a fantastic job for his connections, but he's sort of got to this level now, and now it's he's up amongst it, and it's very tough. So he looks good. He's a nice athletic horse. He always has been. He's always had a good attitude as well. Plenty of length and size about him, and he remains a very fit horse, so he gets a pass.
And what do we make, Graham, of Asian Fencer here, the 5-year-old mare by Fine Needle? Craig Williams to partner from Barrier 1.
Yeah, she's a smart filly, but she's not quite as smart as Satona Rev, because we saw her finish 5th in that big Group 1 in Chicchyo last time. She was beaten 3 3/4 lengths. She had every chance, and once again, wherever she finishes, you have to think that Satona Rev is likely to finish ahead of her.
How's she parading, Jenny?
Yeah, look, she's just a little bit, the odd throw of the head from her, so a little bit niggly, but she is a very fit mare, that's for sure, and does appear to be walking out okay, and she's in fairly good health as well. I thought her last run, she looked a little one-paced, and of course that was the race that Satona Rev won, so I would expect it'd be tough for her to turn the tables on him. But she's nicely enough presented.
Lucky Swainess has been judged at best presented by those that judge that category as he makes his way out onto the track. Let's head down to Nick Child, who's amongst the thick of things with the QEII Rising camp for the Chairman's Sprint Prize.
Yes, thank you very much, Tom. Now listen, champions take a little bit of finding, and I'm pleased to say that I've found the man who unearthed QEII Rising. It's Michael Murray, who found this horse as a youngster. Michael, this is terribly exciting, and well, let's go back to the beginning, shall we? What was it you saw in this horse?
Yeah, as a youngster, a friend of mine, Fraser Orette, bred him in New Zealand, and he took him to the jump outs, and we were at the Levin jump outs. We saw how he went. He showed a bit. He was always on the light side, but a tall horse, but he had a good action. And I spoke to Fraser and concluded a deal with him and bought the horse. And after a fortnight or so, I was in touch with David Hayes, had a word with him, and a 5-minute conversation. David said, yeah, I'll buy the horse, which was really good because I hadn't done much with David for years. And that kicked off our old relationship, and thank God with a horse like this.
Absolutely, and bringing it up to the present day, I mean, you were telling me before we came on air that you've been here to see most of his victories, but I mean, what he's done, what he's been able to achieve, quite phenomenal. He clearly is the ultimate sprinter.
Yes, he is. Obviously, we never knew where he was going to end up, but he had a good action. Mentally, he was a good horse as a young horse, and he showed that, and he showed at Flemington at the jump outs that he had the speed, and it was there really that JD said to me, we got something special, and we knew then how good he was going to be.
Yeah, he's got a wonderful team around him now, of course, and just seeing him progress and what he's been able to achieve here. Obviously, should he win today, of course, there's a big bonus winning the Speed Series, and beyond this, the world very much is his oyster, isn't it, really?
Yes, I think from here, obviously, to the Everest in Australia in October, and then we'll come back here and put him through the series again next year. Who knows, maybe even look at other races in Europe with him. But yeah, he's got so much ahead of him.
It's a fantastic story. Michael, thanks for chatting to us. I'll let you get to your vantage point, and very best of luck with him.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nick, and thank you to Michael Murray for joining us here on the coverage this afternoon. Jenny, runners have left the yard for the Chairman's Sprint Prize. Who made it on top from the paddock?
Oh, no surprises here. Number 1, QEII Rising. He's paraded beautifully once again. Behaved himself well with a lot of noise around here, and he seemed to be walking out really well. Very fit horse. So he's on top of Satono Reeve. I thought he paraded really nicely too. He's a very fit, athletic horse. A bit of scope about him. His last win was excellent. I had to put in Lugal. I know his last couple have probably been below par, but he did cover a bit of ground last time he was here. He's just such a quality-looking animal. He is an entire. He is a 5-year-old, and he is the winner of the Sprinter Stakes, so he has won at Group 1 level. And I thought number 9, Lucky With You. I often put him into some of these races, and once again, he's fronted up looking really well. Now, he is a real outsider in this race, but not impossible for him to pick up some prize money, but I think the favourite's going to be very hard to beat. 1, 2, 4 and 9.
Thank you, Jenny. Let's head up to you, Mark, for your thoughts here on the first of our Group 1 races, all part of the World Pool this afternoon on FWD Champions Day, the Chairman's Sprint Prize.
Nothing brave about this, Tom. Number 1, QEII Rising. He's done everything. Yes, he's got some Japanese sprinters here today to take him on, but he's beaten the main rival of them when he was last here, Satono Reeve. 1 on top to beat number 2, Satono Reeve, who did go back to Japan and win a Group 1, but he was beaten by QEII Rising, and QEII Rising arguably a better horse even now than when he beat him last time. 1 to beat 2. 6 goes in for 3rd, Helios Express, who just keeps on running placings behind the best sprinter in the world, and no reason why he can't figure in the money again here. And 13 Nation Fencer, big odds, 8.8 a place at the moment, hasn't drawn a gate for ages. She's come up with barrier 1, gets a slight weight allowance, and will get a perfect trip. 1, 2, 6, 13, Paul for the 5th.
Yeah, Sam Quinella, 1 to beat 2, QEII Rising, picks himself the 2, Satono Reeve, with that Group 1 win at his last start. The 6 in there for 3rd, Helios Express, always runs a good race, unfortunately runs into QEII Rising all the time. And then for 4th, one at a big price, 10 a place, about Dannon McKinley. This horse here is one of the Japanese. He did run 4th in the Elk Quads. Good run from him last start. He looked hot, but he's been hot every morning in his track work and still has galloped very nicely. 1, 2, 6, 7 for me.
Yeah, QEII Rising on top, number 1 to beat Satono Reeve. I think the barrier draw means he can get first run on the likes of Helios Express, and also including number 3, Lucky Swain. It's just hopefully he can return back nicely here this afternoon. 1, 2, 6 and 7. A recap of Nick's numbers on screen in a moment for you. 1, 2, 6 and 7, and a recap from the paddock, Jenny.
On top from number 2, that's Satono Reeve. He looked really well. Lugal, I thought he was probably up against it here today, but gee, looks well. He's such a beautiful looking horse, so he makes it in on looks. And then the 9, Lucky With You, there he is with those blue and white colours. He can every now and again run a bottler in these types of races. He's done it before at big odds, and he looked a treat as well. So 1, 2, 4 and 9.
Quick question from an outsider, guys. How fast is the pace going to be here? And are we being overly optimistic to think that historic track record could be threatened again? I suspect we're not in track record territory, but QEII Rising tends to make his own luck.
Yeah, he does, and obviously it all depends, I guess, what Victor the winner does if he eventually does get to the front.
Magic Control.
Yeah, Magic Control there, but he's just not a 1,200 metre horse as Magic Control. And you've got to argue sort of what form Victor the winner has been in since coming back from Japan. He hasn't done a great deal, Jenny. I don't know if they're in danger of breaking the track record today, Jenny, to be honest.
Well, it is QEII Rising we're talking about, and the times in some of the earlier races have been well inside a standard as well. So, you know, not impossible. I wouldn't bet against
get ahead of ourselves. He's got to win first.
Yes,
Jenny.
that's right.
But those records, for the record, 67.57, beating a 70-year-old Sacred Kingdoms track record in the Premier Bowl, and 67.2 in the Centenary Sprint Cup. But it's always fantastic to see a world champion, a really, really world-class athlete, do his thing. And if there is a negative sign around this horse, jockey or camp, I've yet to detect it.
What's the betting strategy here, Paul, for the Chairman's Sprint Prize?
I think we've all got the same forecast, really. 1 to beat 2. I think that's the way to go. 1 to beat 2 in the forecast. 3.3 was paying that forecast 1 to beat 2. So QEII Rising 1.1. Satono Reeve is the actual second favourite here, but he's at 13 to 1. It just shows the dominance in the betting of QEII Rising.
He took himself to another level over in Japan last time out, Graham, winning that race over Nomura Eclair, but he'd gone a really, really top race, I thought, behind QEII Rising back here in December.
Absolutely. And if you have an absolutely dominant favourite, you have to think, in one way, if not the favourite, then who? And I think Satono Rev, Jenny touched on his win in Japan last night. It wasn't a wide margin, but it was quite decisive. He had to wait for a run. He settled things neatly. He looks great. I think that horse is at the peak of his powers now. It might not be enough to beat the favourite, but he should run really well. And the subplots, Jenny, of this race, the Hayes family reunion weekend, Hong Kong against Japan. Japan have never won this race. And the one we haven't mentioned, going back in time, it's Zach versus Joe again, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is. Well, I spoke to Joe earlier on in the week, and he likes this horse. He's got a lot of time for him, Satono Reeve. I think he described him, excuse my language, as a bloody good racehorse. So that's what he said, and he is. But he is up against QEII Rising, which is going to make it very tough, but it could be a good tussle.
There's place money, Paul, coming for a whole host of runners now.
Yeah, his money back, QEII Rising. So Lugao is into 14 to 1 a place. Dannon McKinley's into 8.3 a place. Asian Fence is 7.3. So the three Japanese are the one that's actually come in on a place line.
That El Quaz run of Dannon McKinley, I thought he was okay without getting carried away. Obviously chased home Believing, and she got bogged down here last year.
Yeah, it was really good. And I think he's only had 10 or 12 runs. And he's by Maurice, big Hong Kong pedigree there. But he didn't have any excuses on the day. And there was no QEII Rising in the field that day. There was no Satono Rev. So I think in deeper, definitely in deeper today. But it's just hard to find any flaw in this favourite. I think there'll be a mighty sense of shock. Paul touched on the market at the moment. Money back for QEII Rising. Go back to Beauty Generation, I think 5-6 years ago in the Champions Wild, he was 105. So we have had extremely short price favourites. But you want to see the champion shine. And I think Connections, if they can, Jenny, if all goes well, they'd like to really put on a show with this horse today, wouldn't they?
Oh, look, I'm sure they would. I mean, he has been doing that. So we've been enjoying every second of what we've seen of him. And there hasn't been a lot of those seconds because he's so quick. But he is a true racehorse. And I just hope all goes well. They all get a fair chance and he shows what he's actually really
David Hayes compares him to a Usain Bolt in that when he gets on the start line, he sort of knows he has the measure of the horses he's taken on before, and those include Satono Rev. And we should mention Helios Express, because if they hand out the Hong Kong Racing Oscars, Jenny, for this season, Best Supporting Actor is Helios Express, I think, isn't it?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, he's been the bridesmaid on so many occasions, hasn't he? And he's a fairly genuine racehorse. I mean, without him here, he would have had a great record, but you've just got a freak horse here at the moment.
And sorry, Graham.
From stall 13, he'll be ridden very patiently, but we know that he can come home very strongly.
And some would suggest, when coming back to December, QEII Rising, some would say visually not that impressive, but Zach Purton would argue that was probably one of his best ever wins, because there was a fair bit of pressure in that race.
Adversity. Yeah. That's the race when he had to overcome adversity, and not just for a short while, right from the start and right to the 200-300 metre mark. So from a lower gate today, Jenny, you would think a saloon passage, and here we go.
Yes, well, Zach was very pleased to have drawn gate number 4 here today, so he doesn't have to do any work from the outside. And he normally shows great gate speed as well, so hopefully he can do that again today.
Last look at the market, Paul.
Money back still for QEII Rising. The place money still coming for Dannon McKinley now into 7.6, and Asian Fencer. She's come into 6.7 on the place line. No move on any of these horses for a win line.
Runners are taking their places in the starting gates here for the Chairman's Sprint Prize at Group 1 level. Through the World Pool, he's money back. Win and place is QEII Rising. He's looking to take the Hong Kong Speed Series. This is the third leg. He's looking for 8 wins in a season. He's looking for win number 12 in a row, Mark, as we come to you for the call of the Chairman's Sprint Prize.
Thank you, Tom. There's 2 out. Beauty Waves on the back up from last week off an all-weather run. And Magic Control to get set. They'll be ready for the first of 3 Group 1s, the Chairman's Sprint Prize. They are ready. All clear from the back. They're racing. He was about first away, QEII Rising. Lucky With You went away with him. Pace also coming from Invincible Sage, and also Victor, the winner, and Magic Control, and Zach's happy to let that 3 go. Asian Fences on the inside from co-partner Pran's Beauty Waves. Lucky With You has drifted back from Satono Rave, and then came Lucky Swainess, Dannon McKinley. Lugal second last, and back to last from his wide draw, Helios Express. Magic Control leads a length over Victor, the winner. Invincible Sage third on the inside. Last year's winners having a very similar run. Co-partner Prance fourth and 2 lengths to QEII Rising. He's yet to get moving. Purton comes to the outside now. He's 3 off the lead around Asian Fencer, Denon McKinley. Satono Rave is trying to follow QEII Rising. Magic Control leads, but here he is. QEII Rising at the 250. He swept 3 lengths in front of Magic Control. Satono Rave, and then came Invincible Sage. Helios Express runs on, but it's QEII Rising. He does it with the grace and poise of another great sprinter. He's the Usain Bolt of the equine world. QEII Rising beats Satono Rave. Helios Express has run a placing to him again. Then Invincible Sage, Lugal, co-partner Prance, Lucky Swainess, Magic Control, Victor the winner, Beauty Waves, Denon McKinley, Lucky with you, and Asian Fencer, and just stand back and enjoy it. 1 and 1, and he has just destroyed them. Satono Ray followed him for home, and QEII Rising, he's won it hard held by 3. He climbs mountains after mountains. The next one's the biggest in the world, the Everest. Satono Rave couldn't get near him in December, couldn't get near him here. Helios Express, that tail would just annoy him of QEII Rising. It's been in front of him all season, but look at this. 1, 2, 6 and 8. The world's best sprinter has just gone up another notch. The time is 107.88. It's outside of his track record. But the way he has destroyed the world today, it's one thing he hadn't done. He's won it by 2 1/4. He'd beaten every other horse in Hong Kong with ease. The Japanese arrived today, and even they can't get near him. 2 1/4 ahead, 107.88. And the world's best sprinter has just confirmed even further, Nick, that you're going to have to be a good horse just to get near him.
Zach, many congratulations. As if we need confirming, but the world's best sprinter has done it with plenty of ease today.
Oh man, what more can you say? Every time you come out here, he produces something special, and he did that again today, and he didn't even change his leg.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, that turn of foot that he showed, when you give him a squeeze and said, right, off you go, it's just instant, isn't it?
Yeah, he puts him away very quickly.
They came in their droves. Obviously, the Japanese wanted to have a good crack at him today, but couldn't land a glove.
Well, I applaud the Japanese. They're willing to travel and willing to take anyone around the world on, so you've got to give him credit for doing that, but you know, they were playing second fiddle against him today.
They certainly were. A nice bonus as well for the connections, but he's a horse who just goes from strength to strength always.
He's getting better and better. He can have a break now, and the next one's a big one.
Zach, many congratulations.
Thank you.
3 Group 1s, the Chairman's Sprint Prize. They are ready. All clear from the back. They're racing. He was about first away, QEII Rising. Lucky with you went away with him. Pace also coming from Invincible Sage, and also Victor the winner and Magic Control, and Zach's happy to let that 3 go. Asian Fences on the inside from co-partner Prance Beauty Waves. Lucky with you has drifted back from Satono Rave, and then came Lucky Swainess, Denon McKinley. Lugal second last, and back to last from his wide draw, Helios Express. Magic Control leads a length over Victor the winner. Invincible Sage third on the inside. Last year's winners having a very similar run. Co-partner Prance fourth and 2 lengths to QEII Rising. He's yet to get moving. Purton comes to the outside now. He's 3 off the lead around Asian Fencer, Denon McKinley. Satono Rave is trying to follow QEII Rising. Magic Control leads, but here he is. QEII Rising at the 250. He swept 3 lengths in front of Magic Control. Satono Rave, and then came Invincible Sage. Helios Express runs on, but it's QEII Rising. He does it with the grace and poise of another great sprinter. He's the Usain Bolt of the equine world.
And he's done that without, to quote Zach Purton, even changing his leg, Ginny.
Without a whip. He's just done it with such ease once again. Congratulations to all involved there. The Hayes family, the Hayes staff, they were so ecstatic there. Gave me goosebumps. I don't know about you, Graham.
Absolutely, Jenny. And see that title we used before, World's Best Sprinter? How about changing one word? World's Best Horse now. Because Satono Rev has come from Japan, fresh from an excellent Group 1 win. Rated 119, and this horse has absolutely pummeled him. And I'll borrow a phrase from another famous Hong Kong racing sponsor: elegance is an attitude. There's an elegance and poise about this horse, Jenny, that makes this incredibly difficult thing, Group 1 international racing, look like shelling peas.
Yeah, and boys, enjoy this moment because he is one horse, that is for sure. He is unbelievable. QEII Rising, one of the best I've ever seen here, that's for sure.
Jenny, can I ask you a question? There's nobody better on this race course to answer this question. Silent Witness won this race as a 4-year-old.
This is going to be a hard
question
to answer.
You know, you're incredibly close to these horses. I won't ask you to choose between them. Does he now belong on the same page?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yes. Look, this horse just continues to improve. It's the ease in which he does it. It's incredible.
It's terrifying, isn't it, for potential rivals?
Yeah, it's quite scary to see what else is left there. And I'm sure even Zach would say he hasn't pushed him.
He ran 67.88. That's pretty much 3 lengths below his track record. This horse is going to go under 60 seconds, the first horse in history at some point in his career with a health and a following win. He is a spectacular, and it's very rare, Jenny. You've seen so many top class horses. Where is the flaw? Most horses have some sort of tiny chink in their armour. It's hard to see one in this
There is no flaw with him. He can settle. I mean, if he wanted to lead, he could lead with him, but he settled him. He settled back. I saw the mouth open momentarily there, but he seemed to settle really well. And when Zach just pulled him out 4 wide, so he made sure he's the best horse, rode him like the best horse, and just to show that turn of foot as well.
Handicapping fans, 2 1/4 lengths. Value, I think you'd have to say 4, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
If you value him 4 lengths better than Satono Rev and Helios Express, this horse has just bust through the 130 barrier on the international scale, and that is Hall of Fame stuff.
How about that, Paul? What a super performance again. I saw somewhere in social media land over the last week or so a certain Australian trainer saying, hurry up and bring QEII Rising to Australia because we want to race them. I think most of them will be running away with their tail between their legs now.
Yes, you might be right there. 10.50, 10.10 is the return on him as well. 14.50 for the Japanese Satono Rev and 23 for another placing there for Helios Express. But you're completely right. What more can you say? I mean, you can collect your money on him, the weighed in on him, but look, what a fantastic horse this is.
So he goes out for a rest now with Jenny. They're still sort of debating of what happens before the Everest, if he gets a run in here, if the club are going to put on a race for him, or he ends up going first up into the Everest now come October.
Yes, well, obviously they've got to map out a decent plan, and they've been doing that for quite some time. So I'm sure whatever it is, it'll be in the best interest of the horse himself. But how exciting for the Australian public to get a chance to witness what we just witnessed there, this magnificent horse down in Australia and competing at a high level once again.
And David Hayes said, I read somewhere, they weren't willing to do a deal until the grand final this season had been knocked off. That grand final was today for a slot in terms of the Everest. That phone has probably been running fairly hot for a while. It'll be off the hook now.
Yeah, and there'll be lots of fans and people close to the game who will be putting a ring round the date and saying, I need to be there and follow this horse. It's funny, Jenny, sometimes great horses come along in the autumn of a trainer's career. Remember Sir Henry Cecil and Frankel? And Frankel was Sir Henry's masterpiece. And David has been training, it's a century plus of Group 1 winners. He had a Japan Cup winner aged 28 with Better Loosen Up. But for all the tremendous horses that David Hayes has trained, and there are many, many, this looks the best, doesn't it?
Oh, look, I mean, you'd have to ask David, and yes, he has trained an incredible amount of really good Group 1 winners. There's no doubt about that. He's had some of the best in Australia and around the world. But this fellow, I'm very interested if he's going to just put him up to the top now, because he's such an exciting racehorse.
Yeah, you don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, but it's a wonderful human story as well as equine story. And David did mention, I chatted to him for a piece the other day, and he said things were not going well for him here. Would you say 3 years ago?
Well, he had a complete strip out of the stable. Over 25 horses left.
And he did concede it.
賓，主席短途獎頒獎儀式現在開始。
Ladies and gentlemen, the trophy presentation ceremony of the Chairman Sprint Prize will now commence.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have been treated to another exhilarating performance from the best sprinter in the world, QEII Rising, representing Hong Kong, China in the Chairman's Sprint Prize.
各位馬迷經過一輪激烈嘅龍爭虎鬥，主席短途獎已經名花有主啦，係由嚟自中國香港嘅嘉應高升勝出㗎。
It's no exaggeration to say that this is one of those I was there moments. He's a generational talent. And after winning the Chairman's Sprint Prize today, QEII Rising becomes the 5th winner to sweep all 3 Group 1 races of the Hong Kong Speed Series, earning an additional bonus of $5 million Hong Kong dollars.
恭喜晒嘉應高升成為咧第5隻勝出香港速度系列3關賽事嘅馬匹，並獲得咧港幣500萬嘅特別獎金嘅，恭喜晒！
May we now invite our club's chairman, Mr. Michael Lee, to present the main trophy of a Chairman's Sprint Prize and the miniature to the QEII Syndicate, the winning owners of QEII Rising.
我哋本會主席李子豪先生現正咧就係將我哋主席短途獎嘅主杯啦，就係頒發俾咧阿梁生㗎，就係俾我哋勝出馬匹嘉應高升嘅馬主代表啊！咁我哋嘅馬主咧就係嘉應團體嘅，恭喜晒！ So Chairman also to present the miniature to the representative from the QEII Syndicate, Mr. Zhang. 咁主席咧而家就將我哋嘅小型獎杯咧頒發俾我哋勝出馬匹嘉應高升嘅馬主嘉應團體代表曾生，係啦，恭喜晒！
Can I now invite Mr. Lee to present the Hong Kong Speed Series bonus of $5 million Hong Kong dollars to the winning owners.
冇錯啦，本會主席李子豪先生啱啱咧就將一張港幣500萬嘅特別獎金嘅支票咧頒發俾嘉應高升嘅馬主代表張生，恭喜晒！
And now to the trophy presentations for winning trainer and jockey. First of all, Chairman, I'd like to ask you to present the miniature to winning trainer, the man who's handled this brilliant sprinter so masterfully, David Hayes.
好，繼續熱烈掌聲，我哋有請主席咧將小型獎杯咧頒發俾我哋勝出馬匹嘅練馬師大衛希斯。Thank you so much.
Congratulations, David. And finally, Chairman, please present the miniature to winning rider. He's done it again. Multiple Hong Kong champion, Zach Burton.
啱啱主席咧就將我哋嘅小型獎杯頒發俾我哋勝出馬匹嘅騎師潘頓。Thank you, Chairman. Okay, let's all hold for a group photo together to capture this monumental occasion. 好，我哋一齊影張相先。我哋望望前方。Let's look at all our media friends right here at the front. And all the racing fans here today for the FWD Champions Day 2025.
A special race, a special horse, a special moment. QEII Rising is the champion today in the Chairman's Sprint Prize. Now, please stand for the national anthem of the winning country, China.
跟住落嚟，我哋有請香港警察樂隊演奏勝出頭馬所代表國家中國嘅國歌，有請各位起立並隨舞奏國歌。
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the trophy presentation once again. Put your hands together for our champion, QEII Rising.
The FWD Champions Mile will be held at race 7, ladies and gentlemen, and the FWD QE2 Cup will be held at race 8, and we'll see you there. 主席短途獎嘅頒獎儀式已經圓滿結束啦，記得留意我哋陣間第7場嘅富衛保險冠軍一哩賽以及第8場嘅富衛保險女皇盃㗎。提大家，富衛保險冠軍賽馬日大抽獎呢，截止時間就係3點半啦，未登記嘅朋友快啲行動啦！頭獎有機會呢，就可以獲得日本雙人來回東京競馬場嘅體驗。我哋陣間頒獎禮再見。
And also not to be missed is the FWD Champions Day Lucky Draw. See you at the next trophy presentation. Thank you.
To compare this superstar sprinter at the same stage of his career, 13 runs, with the mighty Black Caviar. But he adds the rider. He now has to dominate for 2 more years and go and do it overseas. So here comes the Everest.
Let's have a look at the patrol. I think we've got a couple of technical issues there with the patrol. At this point, we'll come back to that in a moment. So we'll get that sorted out there. But they have weighed in 1, 2, 6 and 8, those numbers here. And the fans, they've turned up to Charlton in their droves this afternoon, Jenny. This is what they wanted to see. They wanted to see the world's best sprinter in QEII Rising absolutely obliterate.
Well,
the
in this case, I think they wanted to see the Japanese horsemen. But yes.
Jenny, do you see anything in QEII Rising's temperament, mentality, makeup that would be of any concern when he travels to Australia?
No, that's the great thing about him. As we watch the head-on here as well, so we watch the patrol. You can see that Zach's jumped him out, and he jumped out really quickly, but he was happy just to take a sit and let these horses cross in front of him. And he doesn't want to be near the fence. He wants to stay away from that, so he's not going to get closed in on. Horse comes to his outside there, but he just takes his time and just relaxes now.
Field pretty well strung out, sharp pace. Magic Control goes through the first 400 in 23.18, middle section 22.6. So no hiding place, Tom.
No, there certainly wasn't. You're riding with the Legal there, of course, for jockey Cam, who's back in the field there over on the inside. There's Helios Express, Graham. He had to go back from that draw with barrier number 13. He's run on again and been a serious place getter.
Yeah, he's a terrific horse. You know, in any other year, he would be a proper Group 1 winner. Satono Reva's run an excellent race, but if you watched him from an early stage, he wasn't super comfortable. Joe was having to get quite urgent to hold that place 2/3 of the way back. He's got his tongue hanging out there, but he's run. Look at those 2 horses. We know how good Helios Express and Satono Rev are. They have run their race almost to the ounce, and you're right to touch on Invincible Sage. Last year, he got literally the perfect storm. He hasn't won since, but that is definitely a step in the right direction for him.
23.18, 22.6, 22.1, 17.88 the winner's time there for the Chairman's Sprint Prize as we count down to the next here at Charlton.
Down to 78. Nothing wrong with him though, he does present nicely.
And Call Me Glorious is at 21 and 6.2 currently, the toppy, and barrier 10 that he has to deal with, Call Me Glorious. So there he is, giving a good look at him, currently at just over 20 to 1. Call Me Glorious. And this horse has been raced did try the 4-year-old series, ran in the Classic Mile, did finish towards the back, and he's back here now at 1200. Savvy, brilliant. The next one, we haven't seen him out on the track for a little while. Luke Ferraris in barrier 7.
He's had substantial blood in the trachea on a few occasions, so that's been a bit of an issue. And he did have a fever the last time he was intended to start. So 140 days since he's raced. You can see he's not totally smooth walking in front, but he's a very relaxed type of horse. He's about your average height, and he's really healthy in his coat. So there's positives, but there's a little negative there. So he requires a loosen up.
He's been off the scene for a little while as we roll on to Geneva. He's won 3 of his last 5, Ginny. He goes up £7 here. A Brenton of Dollar riding for David Hall.
Took advantage of gate number 2 last time when he was able to win, so gate 9 does make it a bit more difficult, but he's a lovely horse. He's a horse that's got plenty of scope. He looks really fit and healthy, and he's also got a really nice nature, so he presents well on most occasions. He's done that again today.
And Geneva at 4.7 and 1.3. You won't miss him in the run with the big white face there. Geneva as a last start winner. Master of My Universe, the race didn't really go according to plan for him, but he's a very consistent horse of Zach Burton from barrier 2.
Well, Zach has a really good record on him as well. 4 rides for a couple of wins and a couple of seconds. So once again, he partners him here. He's not a standout type, never has been, and I don't think he ever will be. But he is a winner of 2 of his 7 races. There's certainly an engine there. He looks quite a genuine type of racehorse. And he looks fit. He's walking out well. His behaviour's good. He's just not an absolute standout type, but certainly fit enough to run another good race.
5 is Super Legends. I thought he ran a really strong race behind Invincible Shield last start to Ginny, and that form reads really well.
Yeah, look, he's a 3-time winner this season, so he's actually been going really well, and he's been looking good. He's a neat type. He's about your average height, but he's got some muscle strength, and he's really well behaved here in the parade, walking out freely enough as well. So he does maintain his condition. He should be competitive.
Righteous Arian was a winner 3 starts ago, barrier 11 for him.
They are planning on taking him out early, but actually the boys are doing a great job with him because he's really under control here this afternoon. He's a big, strong-bodied horse, this guy, 1165 pounds. He's dropped 20 pounds. Wouldn't do him any harm. Don't think he looks bad, and he's coming off a trial up at Chung Fa that wasn't too bad either. So I would leave him there with some rough chance in the race. He doesn't look bad.
Fortune Supernova ran a decent race at his debut with Ginny. 3rd behind Eris Nova when he was at nearly 60 to 1.
Yeah, look, he's an interesting runner. He's a nice, neat type of horse to look at. Not overly tall, but certainly well behaved, walks out well, and looks quite fit. So, yes, his debut was good. Can he repeat that? He was big odds on debut. I'm not sure, but there's nothing wrong with him. He's well behaved.
9.8 for him. Number 8 is Big Return, another one at big odds. He's over 80 to 1.
Getting a little tense here in the parade, so he's really sort of tensing up. He's starting to sweat up a little bit behind, and you can see on his toes now. So he doesn't look unfit by any means. Looks like they've put enough work into him. He's a horse that did come from Singapore, but yeah, just gets a little bit tense and toey now. So place at best for me.
Akash Farney for the man of the moment, David Hayes, Lyle Hewitson. Just wanted to do a little bit wrong over the final stages, lay out the 200, rider changed the whip. That was for 2nd behind Sea Sapphire.
Yeah, I just want to get another look at him. I thought that those 2 efforts have been quite good, so he should be some chance once again if he lives up to those. Walk-wise, he's got a little bit of a pronounced knee action, but that's just his style. He does look extremely fit, and he's very alert and just on and off his toes a touch, but not too hot. So, yes, he is a very fit horse. He should run well.
One of the outsiders is Ty Victory. He's had 2 starts and finished towards the back in both.
Quiet horse. Yeah, he needs to improve on those 2 efforts to date. Offer rating is 62, so he's getting close to a class drop. I think he looks healthy enough. He's got a little bit of his winter coat there, but he's still got a healthy enough shine to it. Attitude's not bad, and he's actually got some body strength, so he's not hopeless.
Aurora Patch steps from 1,000 to 1,200 metres. Just wanted to give ground over the last sort of 200 behind Dream Winner, who delivered at a big price.
Yeah, look, he arrived on a rating of 64. He's down to 61 at the moment. He's a pretty chilled out, relaxed type of horse in the parade. He's got plenty of length about him, and he's got just a nice relaxed attitude and a good healthy looking coat on him. So I don't think he parades too badly. He might just need that class drop. He is off a rating of 61.
And the bottom one is the outside of the field, number 12, Free Pony, barrier 12 for him.
Yeah, getting very anxious and toey here in the parade. Free Pony. He hasn't done a great deal in those 3 starts. He also still carries a little bit of weight around the midsection, but he's got a healthy enough shine to his coat. Very toey though, so not really.
Shadow rollers off for Andy Strawn, barrier 12 for Benno Jung and Keith Young, combining this afternoon with Free Pony, the 4-year-old by Dundee, who's nearly at 100 to 1 in the market. Before we get the top 4 from Jenny for race number 6 of the afternoon, Paul, take us through an in-depth market here for our 6th of the day.
Yeah, just a field of 12 here, so Call Me Glorious at 21, Savvy Brilliant 25, 4.8 Geneva, the favourite Master of My Universe at 2.6, 11 Super Legends 32, Righteous Arian 9.8, Fortune Supernova 82, Big Return Akash Vani at 4, 73 Tyre Victory, Aurora Patch at 26, and Free Pony is the outsider at 97.
Okay, this is race number 6, the race that precedes our next 2 Group 1 races on the card, the FWD Champions Mile and the FWD QE2 Cup, as races 7 and 8 today here at Sharton. Jenny, what are we doing here in terms of the top 4 for this?
Well, I think Super Legends has had a fantastic season. He continues to look well in the parade. He's got a great attitude. There he is in those blue and white colours there. So he's walking out there nice and quietly. He's well put together. He's a neat type. He looks fit and he walks out well. So I've got him on top of number 3, Geneva, who looks extremely fit. And his last effort was good when he was able to win. He's got to do it from gate 9 here, so it's a much tougher assignment. Next best, number 4, Master of My Universe. I thought he paraded well. He's a very plain horse, so he doesn't get too many points as far as type goes, but he was beautifully behaved. He looks very fit and he does walk out nice and fluently. So it's a good parade by his standards. And then the 1, Call Me Glorious. He's probably the quality type in the race. There he is on screen. Very strong in those hindquarters, in fact, in all the right places. He just needs to return to form. Not sure he can do it from gate 10 with 135, but he does look well, so he gets in. 5, 3, 4 and 1.
Brave, rather Super Legends on top, number 5 to beat 3 Geneva, who's won 3 of his last 5. 4 Master of My Universe, who got the start wrong last time out, and Call Me Glorious there at the top with the big weight of 135 pounds. Up to you, Mark, for your thoughts here on race number 6 after a breathtaking performance this afternoon from QEII Rising.
Beyond stunning, Tom, man, just did it with ease. Like to see Zach cut him loose one day and see what he can do, but there's just no need to do it at the moment. Back to race number 6, because it's not too far away with the 7 here, Fortune Supernova at 10 and 3.1. Made him the value bet, good draw. Hopefully he might have come on from his first start. 4 goes in for second, Master of My Universe. Paul will make a case for him. 3 Geneva and 5 Super Legend. 7, 4, 3 and 5, Paul.
Yeah, I'm with the 4, made him the best of the afternoon, Master of My Universe. They didn't have the race run to suit, and he's such a consistent horse from barrier 2 to beat Geneva, a last start winner. In there for 3rd, the 9, Akash Vani. Just he's another horse who's been consistent in his limited starts here. This will be his 3rd start. Has to come up into class 3 and do it. And in there for 4th, the 5, which is Super Legends, a 3-time winner already this season. 4, 3, 9 and 5 for me there, Nick.
Me, I'm here. I'm still here. Master of My Universe on the top, number 4. The hood is coming off. Ryan Moore sort of suggested maybe he would be better suited with a gear change. And I wonder if that gear change he was talking about was the hood being removed, because he began fairly, well, he was slow away last time out, and then he really stayed on strongly along the inside. Ladies' Choice won that. Crimson Flash has come through that and since won. He began fairly in that trial recently, but looked to move well. So 4 Master of My Universe to beat Geneva, who's been in sound form. 3 starts in this grade for a win in a 2nd placing. I think Super Legends is a big chance in this race off the back of what he did behind Invincible Shield last time out, and we've seen what he's done in our earlier Class 2 race this afternoon. And then I've got 9 and Akash Vani, who has got finally a decent gate to contend with here this afternoon. Lyle Hewitson and David Hayes. 4, 3, 5, 9, Nick, for race number 6.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. I've got the 7 on top here, Fortune Supernova. I thought it was a really pleasing debut from this horse. At big odds, 58 to 1, but I don't think there's any fluke about it. He kept on nicely in the race won by Eris Nova. Draws gate 1 here, just a 3-year-old, so should hopefully benefit from that experience. And Jimmy Ting, Harry Bentley teaming up here, looking for their 4th winner together this season. So 7 on top for me. Over the 9, Akash Vani. It's been a good day for David already. This is a very nice horse. Both he and the winner last time nicely clear of the 3rd. and I think there's plenty more to come from him, even up in grade. He'll compete in Class 3, I'm sure of that. He's a well-fancied chance in this. Geneva in for third. It was a taking win from him last time. He's got a good second-up record. That was his second-up start. Had Modular Construction back in fourth. He's won since. The horse that he beat that day is Lifeline Express. He's a good horse now, rated 76, so the form is good. And 4, Master of My Universe. What he lacks in size, he makes up with an engine, because he's a pretty handy type. 2 wins from 7, draws well. Has had a trial with Chung Fa Hood coming off today. 7, 9, 3 and 4, Jenny.
I've gone with the 5 on top, Super Legends, who's had a fantastic season already. He's on a career high rating of 73 at the moment, but at least he's nicely drawn in gate 3, and James McDonald will partner him again here. He just seems to front up really well once again. A very quiet, relaxed type of horse, and he has got body strength. So he goes on top of the 3, Geneva. I like his attitude. He's a very athletic horse. He looks as fit as he could possibly be. The 4 goes in, Master of My Universe, a plain horse, but racing well and looking well by his standards. He's only a lightly framed horse, but certainly looking good. In gate 2, he's likely to get a very good run off the leading jockey here in Zach Purton. And then I thought number 1, Call Me Glorious, actually paraded really nicely. He's been out of sorts for a while, so he needs to pick his game up, but he does look good. 5, 3, 4 and 1.
Thank you, Jenny. They are down at the start. We're closing in on start time for race number 6 of the afternoon here. Paul, what's the play?
Well, I made my best Master of My Universe for the afternoon. I put him in there with Geneva, and Mark's made the horse Fortune Supernova his value play. So 3, 4 and 7 at the QQP there. 2.8 about the favourite, Master of My Universe. Money coming for Akash Vani. It's been a good day already for David Hayes, and he's into 3.7. Geneva at 4.2. So those 3 are dominating the market. Super Legends are Drifter to 10, Fortune Supernova out to 12. But that's basically your market. You're into the 20s after that, and that's the toppy, which is Call Me Glorious, who comes up as a 24 chance.
Is it a sterner test this afternoon, Nick, for Geneva with that 131 pound he has to carry, extra 7 on last start?
Yeah, look, you know, as you say, he's gone up to 7 pounds. He's up to that mark of 74, so it's going to get that little bit tougher for him. And it wasn't so long ago he was winning off of 53, but he's come a nice way since then. Obviously, there was a run there when 6th. I know he was beaten 6 lengths. That's behind my wish. We're going to see in the mile shortly. But recent racing's been good. I think he can step forward. I like him as a type. He's a 3-time winner from 10. So he's got a super profile, only once out of the top 3.
There he is on screen. You won't miss him in the run with the baldy white face there. Master of My Universe, Jenny, obviously got things wrong at the start last time out. Is Ryan Moore in the steward's report alluded to making a gear change, and John's taking that hood off. Is he going to derive benefit from not having that hood on, and he can hear everything in the gates today?
Well, I'm not. Look, a good question, but my concern is that he could be slow out of the gates, because he's done that on numerous occasions. Gate speed is not really his thing, so hopefully Zach can get him away on terms. Whether the hood's going to make a difference to that, I wouldn't imagine it would, but let's see what happens.
So we see runners moving into the gates. Aurora Patch here, Paul. He ran a couple of decent races down the straight, 2 and 3 runs ago, but was a little out of it last time out.
Yeah, a little bit, wasn't he? So we'll see how he does go, and he's a big price, Aurora Patch there at 30 and 6.4.
Fortune Supernova, Nick, ran a really good race. He's certainly in the market today at 11 to 1. Do you think he can back that up? He's got the inside stall to be able to do that.
Yeah, no, I really do, Tom. Look, I've got him on top, and I think he's a horse who can step forward. I mean, yeah, big odds on debut, but I like the way he's run home, and he just looked to me like he would come on leaps and bounds for it, and hopefully that is what's going to transpire here. Much better draw is obviously a much better place to be.
Just having a bit of trouble with Akash Vani coming up into the stalls here. He is horse number 9. He's coming up to a middle of the line draw. He's not familiar with that. He's had wide stalls in his first couple of starts. Mark, we come to you. Master of My Universe is the favourite, but more money coming for the David Hall train Geneva.
Into 3.5, 1.5. Thomas Savvy Brilliant goes forward. Free Pony is about to go in, and Call Me Glorious will be the last as another update comes through, and Master of My Universe has just now been crunched into 2.4. Geneva's gone back out to 4.2. Race number 6, the break between the Group 1s. They're racing. Super Legends away fast. Now Willie Pace from Big Return, but Super Legends is being tackled for the lead by Ty Victory. Also Aurora Patch and Call Me Glorious. He might get across in front of all of them before the first turn, Call Me Glorious, and he will. Super Legends is now 4th on the inside of Akash Vani from Master of My Universe, outside of Fortune Supernova. 2 lengths to Savvy Brilliant, Big Return, Righteous Arian. Geneva second last and Free Ponies 2 lengths away last. It's Call Me Glorious leading over Aurora Patch. Tie Victory running third, The Fence, and Akash Vani fourth, Super Legends fifth, and one off next is Master of My Universe. Fortune Supernova's on the rail from Savvy Brilliant, then Big Return, Geneva third to last with only Righteous Arian and Free Pony behind him. Call Me Glorious is 2 in front of Aurora Patch, who's 2 in front of Tie Victory. Out wider now, Master of My Universe from Super Legends and Akash Vani. Call Me Glorious the leader, 2 lengths over Master of My Universe, Super Legends. Call Me Glorious lead, back to half a length. Master of My Universe, Super Legends is in third place, but it's Master of My Universe and Purton's going to ride 3. Master of My Universe beat home Call Me Glorious, Super Legends and Akash Vani. Then came Geneva, Aurora Patch, Righteous Arian, Fortune Supernova, Big Return, Free Pony, and last in Tie Victory with one more there, Savvy Brilliant. Paul's best home, number 4, Master of My Universe for John Size at 2.5 and 1.1. 1 Call Me Glorious, Jimmy Orman second at 6.6 and 5 Super Legends third, James McDonald at 2.4. He drifted, then there was a big whack came for him and he edged out slightly at the close to 2.5, and he's been able to get the job done here in a pretty good fashion. Took a little while to get past Call Me Glorious, who did go a cheeky race in the lead, but in the end he's run past him. Super Legends and Akash Vani rounding out the top 4. So Purton with half the card. He still has Galaxy Patch and Elvencedor to come in the Group 1s after QEII Rising destroyed them in the 5th. 108.98. The favourite is the break between the Group 1s. They're racing. Super Legends away fast. No early pace from Big Return, but Super Legends is being tackled for the lead by Tie Victory. Also Aurora Patch and Call Me Glorious. He might get across in front of all of them before the first turn, Call Me Glorious, and he will. Super Legends is now 4th on the inside of Akash Vani from Master of My Universe, outside of Fortune Supernova. 2 lengths to Savvy Brilliant, Big Return, Righteous Arian. Geneva second last and Free Ponies 2 lengths away last. It's Call Me Glorious leading over Aurora Patch. Tie Victory running third, The Fence, and Akash Vani fourth, Super Legends fifth, and one off next is Master of My Universe. Fortune Supernova's on the rail from Savvy Brilliant, then Big Return, Geneva third to last with only Righteous Arian and Free Pony behind him. Call Me Glorious is 2 in front of Aurora Patch, who's 2 in front of Tie Victory. Out wider now, Master of My Universe from Super Legends and Akash Vani. Call Me Glorious the leader, 2 lengths over Master of My Universe, Super Legends. Call Me Glorious lead, back to half a length. Master of My Universe, Super Legends is in third place, but it's Master of My Universe and Purton's going to ride 3. Master of My Universe.
Master of My Universe, he still wasn't a gun out of the gates here this afternoon at Sharton, but he's been able to steam home down the middle of the track to defeat Call Me Glorious, who gave a magnificent sight off the front. Super Legends, another honest race from him, and Akash Vani with the draw has run well. 3/4 by 3/4, 18.98 to Nick. Another favourite home, another Purton winner. It's Master of My Universe.
Yeah, it's been a big day so far for the man on top, and this is a nice horse, this, and winner for John Size as well here. That's start 8 for 3 wins now. Master of My Universe, son of Havana Gold, getting the job done here in the 6th race, seeing off Call Me Glorious in second, with both 5 and 9 chasing after them. 25 and 11 is what he will pay the victor. The runner-up was the top weight, Call Me Glorious, there at 66s. Third, number 5, that was Super Legends, 24.50, and 4th there was number 9, Akash Vani, under Lyle Hewitson. 386.50 the Quinella, forecast 549. The Tiers 3,385, and the trio $668 there after the running of race number 6. But Master of My Universe there, Jenny, getting the win. Zach Purton and John Size teaming up here.
Yeah, look, they've run 108.98, and that's over the 1200. Of course, QEII ran 107.88, but well done to Zach Purton getting this horse to win another race. He is a very plain-looking horse, but wow, he's got a little motor, this guy. He's done a great job. He's won 3 from 8 now, so he's done a fantastic job with him, John Size, once again. Very quiet, relaxed type, but given a terrific ride once again by Zach Purton.
He certainly was there, Master of My Universe, Paul, and his run last time out was very game and defeat. He just had to get the start right today. Didn't quite completely get it right, but he was much better than last start.
Yeah, a lot better, and look, the race was run at to suit him a lot more. Call Me Glorious, he really went for it, and it was a good run from him at a big price, Call Me Glorious. But he was too good on the day, the little chap. He's only 970 pounds as Master of My Universe. He got up there. Akash Varney was honest, and Super Legends as well. They're both honest. Geneva was running on a little bit, but maybe a little bit disappointing.
Obviously, the sectionals there, Nick, 23.51, 22.24, both inside standard there for Call Me Glorious. So there was plenty of merit in his performance this afternoon.
There was indeed, yeah, absolutely. And he's had to shoulder a decent weight as well. He was given £5 to the winner, so yeah, certainly no mean feat. What's he been beaten? 3/4 of a length in the end. So yeah, looks super run from the top weight.
And the usual sort of honest performance, Jenny, from Super Legends.
That was a very honest performance. He was given a lovely ride by James McDonald. He was midfield on the fence there, and he had his opportunity, but he stuck on quite well once again. So he's pretty genuine too.
What else did you see there, Paul, over the final stages?
Well, I was just saying before about Geneva. I mean, we'll have a look at the head on. He was making a little bit of ground late, but he, you know, all in all, he's probably slightly disappointing that he didn't run into the placings. Fortune Supernova, he ran an honest enough race there, but 5th or 6th, sort of stayed on a little bit.
Yeah, Geneva was a fair way back in the field to sort of Fortune Supernova. Just sort of got slightly held up behind sort of Super Legends in the early sort of top of the straight there. So I thought there was still a bit in his run, Nick, in the end.
There was. No, there certainly was. So, I mean, yeah, it's probably a race that you can go back and have a look back at the tape once or twice, maybe even more, and you'll certainly unearth something. I think it's one of those types of races. So, yeah, look, but take nothing away from the winner. He was by far the strongest here.
Zach Purton weighing in for what is his 100th victory of the season here at meeting number 66 this afternoon. And away they go. You can see a big return, quite awkward away from the start there for Keegan DeMello, reared up and has gone back towards the inside. Super Legends going forward with the tie victory. You've got Aurora Patch there, and ultimately crossing them all, Call Me Glorious, who now cuts down towards the inside when they get to that first turn. Akash Varney next to Super Legends, Master of My Universe, and then you've got Fortune Supernova, tracked along by Savvy Brilliant. Big return back on the inside there. Righteous Arian, Geneva well back, Nick, and I should say Paul, and one of the outsiders there, Free Pony, towards the end of the field.
Yeah, he had to go back from his wide draw, so he's back there on the inside with Righteous Arian. And Geneva was quite well back. We'll see if he can make up a bit of ground there in those orange colours and the big white face. But this stage, Call Me Glorious had gone for home. Here comes the eventual winner in similar colours, which is Master of My Universe down the middle of the track.
Yep, down the middle of the track. Call Me Glorious still boxing on, giving a good sight. Super Legends still there. Akash Varney with the baldy white face. And then you've got Aurora Patch, who starts just to tire a little bit over the final stages. Fortune Supernova and also Righteous Arian down the outside trying to pick a few off. Geneva did run on a little bit, but ultimately in the end was probably a shade disappointing there, Nick.
Yeah, I tend to agree there, Tom, and that was the running of race 6. Weighed-in signal just coming through for 159. They've weighed in 3/4 twice there for race number 6 of the afternoon. 117.50 for 1 and 4, 4 and 5 $40, and 1 and 5 $237 at the QQPs for race number 6. 549 the forecast, 4 beat 1. 23 minutes away from the second of our Group 1s today. 1459 the first 4, 443 on that first 4. Now if you had them in the correct order, that is the quartet. 12,194, 4159 for the quartet there on our 6th race of the afternoon. One and 4 double, $27. Pair of ones there for the consolation, $41.50 for races 5 and 6 there on the program. Third double trio, race 5, 126, race 6, 145, 5,241 there on the third double trio on today's fixture. A few more opportunities for the double trios still to come, of course. The triple trio, race 4, 6, 8, 10, race 5, 1, 2, 6, race 6, 145, $321,826 on the triple trio there this afternoon. So well done if you managed to land the TT. The consolation with the field in race 6, $468 for today's triple trio consolation there. Sectional times 23.51, standards 23.70, 22.24, standards 22.35, and 23.23, standards 23 flat. They went 108.98, comfortably inside standard of 109.05.
He's 3 in front. Voyage Bubble's going to see it out, and he's going to be the king of the mile. It's Mr. Brightside. He's opened up his eyes. He's just in front. He wins. Mr. Brightside has just won a Ninth Group 1. Royal Patronage here to shock, slugging it out, and Royal Patronage got the upper hand.
Taking on the Japanese horses when it comes to the distance of 2,000 metres. Obviously no Romantic Warrior, and he's been there or thereabouts around him, but they're still in the back of their mind, Jenny, thinking about the Triple Crown as well.
Well, yeah, look, I tend to agree. I thought he might have targeted him for the 2,000, but he's going into this relatively fresh. It's 63 days since his race, so, you know, this could be very suitable for him, the 1,600. But it's not going to be an easy assignment, but he is playing at home.
And it's the McDonald effect again, isn't it?
Yes.
I know the horse is entitled to improve at this stage of his career, and he was probably rather unheralded before anyway. The stars have aligned that his improvement has coincided with one of the world's best riders aboard him, and seems to have got a little bit extra out of it.
Yeah, and we know Voyage Bubble can be very versatile as far as race pattern goes as well. So James knows him really well now, and if he needs to take him back or if he wants to take him forward, he can do that.
Let's head over to Paul Lally and Nick Child. He takes on Mr. Brightside, the 9-time Group 1 winner from Australia here this afternoon on the firm deck for Team Hayes.
Absolutely, Tom. Yeah, look, wonderful to have Mr. Brightside here. It's been sort of mentioned in dispatches down through the seasons that he might come for certain races, Paul. That hasn't happened, but he's here today. His track work's looked good. There's plenty supporting him, and it's great to have him here.
It is very good to have him here, and he's drawn well, so he's going to get his opportunity in this race. Now, he's at 6.5 versus Voyage Bubble at 1.4. All the money's come for Voyage Bubble. I thought that'd be a lot closer in the market. My wish, obviously, the other one who's drawn 1 had no luck in the Derby. He's probably the best run out of the Derby, and he's in there at 6.9, but all the money's for Voyage Bubble.
I know it's hard to pull the threads together. Obviously, we've got Voyage Bubble's local form and Mr. Brightside, of course, in Australia. Do you think the discrepancy is too big between the pair?
That looks that way. I mean, he's such a good horse, Mr. Brightside. He's a multiple Group 1 winner, and he's in for the scrap. He always tries hard. He's not fashionably bred, but he just really tries, and he wants to win.
Yeah, for sure. And he's joined by Royal Patronage, of course, from Australia as well, who's got such an international CV.
Yeah, hasn't he? And look, he looks the pacemaker for me. I think they'll go to the forward and try and win that.
Okay, well, Tom, we'll come back to you, Nick and Jenny, down in the parade, but a fascinating race upcoming here for the mile.
Thanks, guys. What about the gear changes, Nick, this afternoon on Galaxy Patch? Cheek pieces, tongue tie. Zach Purton's been calling for the blinkers, but they've gone with something a little different.
Purton's second time. I quite like that angle. I think he's a horse that could pick up some pieces here. Nick and Paul talking about the pace in the race. I thought the pace was likely to be pretty honest. I think there's quite a few that'll drive forward, not just Royal Patronage. I mean, Mr. B's not going to be too far off the pace. And I think they could make it a pretty honest gallop here. That's going to suit Galaxy Patch. I wouldn't be surprised if the race just peeled apart and he came through late, Jenny.
And, well, yes, I tend to agree with you there, but my wish, what do you make of him? I mean, his run in the Derby was enormous.
He's talented, isn't he? Of course,
Certainly
young,
is.
improving. There could be quite a lot more to come.
Let's start with Chang Cheng Glory. Now, of course, he's been pretty consistent, whether the Group 1 sort of elite level is just beyond him, Jenny, but he normally fronts up and runs a race, and he's got Joe Moreira this afternoon.
Yep, and he generally fronts up looking pretty good, this horse. He's always had a lovely demeanour about him, very quiet, relaxed, athletic type of horse. He looks in great health, and he just continues to walk out nice and relaxed. He never puts on weight, so he's always, he might appear on screen to be maybe a little on the thinner side, but he's not. That's just his shape, that's his conformation. So once again, he presents well.
Well, here it is, Voyage Bubble, stepping out of the shadows of Golden 60 and Romantic Warrior as the currently most decorated horse that is running on this card. Hong Kong Mile winner in December, 10 wins now, including 4 Group 1s. He's thoroughly admirable, consistent. He'll just keep doing more, I think, Tom.
Yes. Well, look, he looks fantastic. He really does. He's such a lovely, sort of long-bodied horse, but he also has the strength to go with it. And, of course, he's our Derby winner from a few years ago as well. His coat is very fine at the moment, but it's healthy enough. He walks out beautifully, and his demeanour's fantastic as well. So he does look very well. I think he'll be very hard to beat.
How's Beauty Eternal parading, Jenny? Of course, he won this race last year, but he got plenty of favours off the front as well, and the track conditions too.
Exactly, it was yielding, and that really did suit him. And since then, he hasn't been able to place, so he's been a bit disappointing on that front. Look, he can front up every now and again, but we haven't seen it for quite some time. He's very strong, he's well behaved, he looks healthy, decent hindquarters on him. He certainly gets a pass. There is nothing wrong with him. He just needs to pick his game up.
Well, this is Beauty Joy. Wherever Beauty Eternal goes, Beauty Joy follows. But it could be, given the form they're in at the moment, that Beauty Joy gets one over his near owner mate today. Good, solid, really hard-knocking, consistent horse, but he's probably not up to winning one of these nowadays.
I don't think so. I tend to agree. Gate, he's an 8-year-old now, so he's getting on a bit. Mind you, he's picked up a huge amount of prize money along the way. $34 million he's got. So he's been very good to his connections, that's for sure. Now, he never carries any excess condition. He's beautifully behaved in the parade. He can be a bit of a difficult ride on occasions. He's a bit better as he's got older. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. He's walking out freely. He looks good for him.
Wow. Mr. Brightside looks
good, doesn't he?
In serious nick.
How's he parading, Jenny? The 9-time Group 1 winner for Team Hayes.
Yep, well, I've yet to lay eyes on Mr. Brightside, and I'm very excited to see him in the flesh for the very first time as well. So he's about to make his way down to me right now. Beautifully behaved, walking out nice and freely, strong-chested, healthy. He's about your average height or a little bit higher than that. And he's got some good substance about him, very strong and relaxed and enjoying a stroll around here. So he's in good nick.
And here's Galaxy Patchels we were talking about a few moments ago. If Mr. Brightside gets out and he and Royal Patronage start to cut this race open, that's going to be to the benefit of Galaxy Patch, who gets Zach Purton for the second time. I do think those cheek pieces are going to make a difference, and you can see they're already having the desired effect. They've got to have that effect on the track rather than in the paddock.
Yeah, no, this is a bit of a normal thing for this guy. He gets a little excited in the parade. He can be quite naughty. So this is normal. Hopefully they'll get him out nice and early so he doesn't get too hot and flustered. He thins out a bit towards the flank area there, but he's always been a very angular type of horse anyway, so he's not a standout type, but he's talented. He's just got to put it all together, and he's had so many excuses in his races. I think he looks well by his standards. If they keep him nice and calm, I'll consider putting him into the top 4.
Royal Patronage, Jenny, the likely leader in the race, ran a bottler in the Doncaster, considering he was 3 wide, no cover up on the pace.
Yeah, Royal Patronage, exactly. He's got a very good record, so I don't want to dismiss him too lightly. He is your average height. He's very strong. He's beautifully behaved. He's very quiet and relaxed here in the parade with his 2 handlers, and he does walk out nice and cleanly. Carries a little bit of weight around the midsection, but that's probably normal for him. I think I like his attitude, very good attitude, and he's a strong enough horse, so I'll leave him there with the place chance.
Here's the Japanese contender, Gaia Force, almost white-grey. Quite a striking horse who I think probably needs there to be the sort of pace that he'd be used to in Japan. I'd say this would be a bare minimum for him, Jenny.
Yes, and he has been on his toes pretty much right throughout this parade so far that I've seen. He's got a couple of handlers on him, but he's, let me just get a better look at him here. He is very, very fit, that's for sure, and he's just settled down now, which is a positive sign. So I think he presents quite well. He's a really fit-looking horse, so that might hold him in good stead.
Happy together, Jenny. Another one that runs his race without being sort of two amongst them at elite level, and also Red Lion, who ran a placing in this race last year behind Beauty Eternal. So 9 and 10, please.
Yeah, look, I'll need to get to them because, as you can imagine, there is a lot of people in the parade here. So just with the 9, happy together. He is a very strong-bodied horse. He's sensible here in the parade. Beautiful, healthy coat, really strong shoulder, bandaged on his bumpers. He looks good. He looks very well, and he's an honest type, but it's a tough assignment. And Red Lion bandaged on his hind legs, which is quite often the case. He lacks a bit of scope, but he has got good strength. His attitude's not too bad at all, and walking out okay. So he's well without being exceptional.
A lovely horse, this Gaumont. Goes everywhere, mainly in the Middle East nowadays. Trained in Bahrain, probably ran his career best in the 13:51, which is just shy of 1,400 metres. This mile maybe just stretch him today if it's well run, but he's a really consistent, very likeable horse.
Yeah, look, he's not a smooth walking horse though in front, so he needs a bit of loosening up in that area. He is well enough behaved, and he's only small, but he's neat enough, and he does look quite fit. So he just requires a loosen up. He's not smooth in front.
My wish, Jenny, so close in the Derby from an awkward barrier draw, and barrier number 1 definitely gives them options to play with here this afternoon.
Certainly does. He's so relaxed here in the parade, and he never carries much excess condition, this horse, but he's a very talented racehorse. He doesn't have a huge amount of strength in those hind quarters. This is how he's been all along, and he's been performing, so that's just his confirmation. I like his fluency and his attitude, so he's good.
Sunlight Power we've just seen on screen. He's a big price, Sir Jenny. Definitely has a lot to find on his rating.
Sunlight Power definitely does, yeah. It's going to be tough for him, and I would have preferred a wet track for him to show us his very best. He's not going to get that here today. To look at, he's under control with his 2 handlers, albeit on his toes, and starting to get a little bit fractious now. So he's just feeling what's going on around him here in the parade, a lot of noise and a lot of people. But he is a nice horse. He's a very nice horse. He's very strong. He's healthy.
And to Gaumont for the Bahrainians, Judge Best presented here in the yard. Let's head over to Nick Child, who's standing by with the co-trainer of Royal Patronage this afternoon. It's Adrian Bott.
Yes, thank you very much, Tom. Great to see Adrian Bott here, of course, one half of the training team that have prepared Royal Patronage here this afternoon for the mile. Adrian, great to have you here, of course, representing both yourself and Gay Waterhouse. Great to be here, I'm sure.
Yeah, fantastic. It's been a great build-up throughout the week. The owners have thoroughly enjoyed the experience, and amazing atmosphere, so great to be a part of it all.
I'm sure it is. Obviously, it's a great race, this Champions Day, the Champions Mile. It's a strong one this year. Voyage Bubble, Mr. Brightside, who I'm sure you're fully up to speed with on form, and every other horse that runs in the race. But your horse, tell us a bit more, because he's just walked behind us. He is very decent.
Look, he's handled himself very well here today, which is encouraging, but his lead-up form coming from Australia, Group 1 winner at Weight for Age, competitive at the top level there. Through the right race, I think he bring the right form. He was a bit unlucky there at his last start over the mile in the Doncaster handicap. So, he's got the profile that I think suits very well here. He's got tactical speed, race that may look to lack a little bit of pace. We can use that to our advantage. So, certainly look to be prominent in the run, but Tim's got a couple of nice options from that draw. So, profile's up well for us.
And he is really the epitome now of the international horse, isn't he? 'Cause he's got so many stamps in his passport, of course. Started off back in Great Britain, and obviously a Group 1 winner in America, a Group 1 winner now in Australia. You'd love to have Hong Kong on that CV as well.
Yeah, really would. I think they'll just sort of top it off nicely for him. I guess a bit of a sign how the industry is sort of going in terms of sort of the global racing and the competitiveness there. So hopefully he's here to represent us well.
I believe Mrs. Waterhouse has shunned this trip for Hawaii or Kentucky or somewhere, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's over there for the Kentucky Derby this year. Unfortunately, she had the prior commitments there, but no doubt she'd love to be here on an occasion. But as I said, I'm sure this won't be the last runner that we bring up, so there'll be another opportunity for her to come up.
Wonderful to have you and your horse here and all your owners. Best of luck.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick, and thank you to Adrian Bott for joining us here on the coverage this afternoon. Jenny, for the Champions Mile, who makes the top four from the paddock?
Well, he's our local boy. Number 2, Voyage Bubble. He looked outstanding, I thought. He is just such a beautiful horse. He behaved himself really well. He's strong. He continues to walk out well. He's got the record on the record on the board, something like that, yeah. So he's a very good horse. I think he'll run very well. Number 1, Mr. Brightside, I thought he paraded really well too. He's a strong-bodied horse, very sensible in the parade too. So hopefully he can go well for connections. The 9 horse I've put in, and that is Happy Together. Now, he's probably got no hope, but he does look terrific. He really does. He's very strong in the shoulder, walking out well. And Galaxy Patch, that's not a bad parade by his standards. Normally he gets really unsettled and gets very hot and carries on a lot more than what he did today. So that's a pretty good parade from him. He may get in because of that. 2, 1, 9 and 6.
Thank you, Jenny. 2, 1, 9 and 6. Your thoughts, Sir Mark, as we come to you as horses parade in front of a monster crowd here at Sharton today?
It certainly is, Tom. And with the 2 here, that is Voyage Bubble. It's hard not to be with him. He's a really good horse, and from barrier number 10, he's won his last 4 in a row, 1 Group 2, 3 of them at Group 1 level. And he's just had such a terrific season. Different season from him. He came via Dubai last year and ended up running a 3rd in the Champions Mile behind Beauty Eternal. Stayed exclusively in Hong Kong this year. So 2 on top, Voyage Bubble. To beat number 12, My Wish. Run of the Derby, deserved to win it. Barry number 1, he's going to get his opportunity here. 1 Mr. Brightside goes in. First time out of Australia since he arrived in Australia. Of course, he did have 1 start in New Zealand before joining the Hayes team. And Galaxy Patch, just see what he can do here. He beat Voyage Bubble first run this season. Since then, it's 4-1 to Voyage Bubble. 2, 12, 1 and 6, Paul, for the Champions Mile.
Yeah, same 4 numbers in that order as well. See it the same way. Voyage Bubble, barrier 10. Look, the horse is versatile. He went back in the Derby and still won. I think he got shuffled back last start and still ran on and won. So he's coming. He's just gone to another level this season. So he's on top. The 12, My Wish, was the run of the Derby. The 1, Mr. Brightside, Hope of Australia here as well. And he's such a scrapper, this one. And then the 6, Galaxy Patch running on. 2, 12, 1, 6 for me as well, Tom. How do you see it?
Voyage Bubble on top, Paul, to beat 12, My Wish. I think he's going to run a huge race here this afternoon, My Wish, with that agonisingly close 2nd in the Derby. Mr. Brightside makes it in as well, number 1. I just worry about the firmer nature of the surface here this afternoon. And 6, Galaxy Patch with those gear changes as well. 2, 12, 1 and 6, a recap of Nick Child's numbers. They are 2, 1, 12 and 6 also. And Jenny, a recap from the paddock, please.
Yeah, look, I've gone with the 2, the favourite. I had to put him on top, Voyage Bubble. He's a beautiful horse. He goes well here at Sharton, as we know. And he's got a fantastic record. He looks outstanding once again. His coat wasn't brilliant last time. It's still not 100%, but it's certainly good enough. The 1 horse goes in, Mr. Brightside. He looks strong. He was really relaxed here in the parade. He handled his parade very, very well. Next best was the 9, Happy Together. So he goes in on looks. Whether or not he's good enough here, I have my doubts, but he certainly looked strong and well, behaved well. And then Galaxy Patch didn't misbehave as badly as I have seen him in the past. He's as fit as he could possibly be. He's not a standout type, never will be, but he looks healthy in his coat, and he does look extremely fit going into this. So 2, 1, 9 and 6.
How did you see the Champions Mile this afternoon, Nick?
Well, I reckon I've got all the right notes, but not necessarily in the right order. I've got Galaxy Patch on top. I think the race will be run to suit. I think Purton has been eyeing up this horse for a little while. It's 2nd time on. I like that angle. I can't have this horse out of the frame. He's clearly got to be there, Voyage Bubble. He's so talented, so consistent, probably one of the most underrated horses in the world. He can regularly knock in high 120s figures. So unless he gets terrible misfortune, he's going to be involved. Mr. Brightside's going to run huge. And My Wish is the up-and-comer. I'm sure they're the 4 horses to be concentrating on, but in what order, as I said, I'm not sure. I went with Galaxy Patch at the odds.
Paul, the money's coming for Mr. Brightside now on the place line. Of course, we're operating under the World Pool Banner here this afternoon. Where's the late money going, and what's the play for this?
Yeah, it is around him. He's into 1.5 a place now on the place line, and he has been backed with a few at a big odds. Chang Cheng Glory and Happy Together in particular through the Quinellas. Look, he's in the play along with Voyage Bubble and My Wish. I think we all have the top 3 of these 3 horses. So 1, 2, 12. Is the play. Looking through other ones, My Wish is starting to come for Quinella places. Now with him, it's particularly the 3, Gale Force, who's the Japanese at a big price. He's over 90 to 1, the Japanese. And Beauty Joy is at a big price at 65. And Beauty Eternal, he's at 90 odd to 1, last year's winner.
Yeah, Beauty Eternal, last year's winner, who went off at 11-1 when defeating Red Lion in this race. Do you envisage them today, Jenny, with the draw of barrier number 2 for Mr. Brightside, just riding him that little bit quieter this time round?
Well, Craig knows him very well. I think he'll sum it up as soon as he jumps, see how he jumps, and then go from there. He has been a versatile horse. He does tend to like to race, you know, in the top 5 or 6 horses. Depends what the pace is. Craig's such a good jockey. He's going to work it out.
Indeed he will. And outside of him, Paul, the other overseas contenders, the likes of Royal Patronage, Gaumont, they've just got a little bit defined on their ratings, certainly, don't they?
Yeah, that's how it looks, actually. With those horses, you know, they do have to find a little bit. Royal Patronage, I think, will probably lead the race. He does like to go forward this horse, so he'll try and stack them up. Happy Together led last time, but it was okay for him. So I think he's going to be a lot more forward. And, of course, My Wish, who had to go back in the Derby, he's going to be a lot closer. Well, I mean, he's led to 1,200-metre races in the past, My Wish.
Guy Forsey is sort of a horse that sits sort of beyond midfield, Jenny, and he's coming off some interesting prep runs on the dirt over in Japan at Tokyo and also with Chukyo. He's got form behind Songline, Snellmeister, Russian Park, Equinox, but he's just a little bit below that elite Group 1 tier, isn't he?
Yeah, look, in the Usuda Kinnan, though, he stuck on okay behind Romantic Warrior, and then he came out and he was 5 wide, no cover at his next start. So he had a legitimate excuse in the Champions Cup. And then the February Stakes, he kept going okay towards the line. It wasn't a hopeless run. Looking at him, well, you're not going to miss him in the run because he's almost white, but he looked really fit, so that might hold him in good stead.
And he's likely to sort of be in the run. Gaia Force, Paul, potentially caught 3 wide unless they can slot in somewhere.
Yeah, he went forward last time, and he might just be looking for that cover or try and slot in midfield. Chang Cheng Glory is another one that might be a little bit closer. He's quite a versatile horse these days, but I think he'll be looking for some cover as well. And Voyage Bubble will be back towards the rear, I think. And Galaxy Patch races best when he goes back.
1.64 a Voyage Bubble. Now, what did you think, Paul, of the track conditions this afternoon for Mr. Brightside? Because the comments that I've been reading in the media have said they would like give is very important to them, and obviously there's been a bit of rain about Friday, minuscule amounts over the last couple of days. Track conditions for Mr. Brightside?
Look, he's won 8 times on soft to heavy, so look, he's probably the horse that would have liked it the most. But in saying that, he's won 11 times on a good track with 10 seconds from his 31 goes. So statistics say that he should be okay on it, but they'd probably prefer he would benefit more from rain than a lot of the other horses.
He might have just come off the All-Star Mile, maybe a little bit jarry last time out, Jenny, Mr. Brightside. But let's not forget he was a nose, and a very small nose, second to Romantic Warrior in a Cox Plate.
Yeah, and he's a 9-time Group 1 winner, so he is a quality animal. There's no doubt about that. They've had so much fun with him. Over $89 million he has won, Mr. Brightside. Let's hope he can do Australia proud here.
Yep, certainly. Of course, 7-year-old by Bull Bars out of a Tavistock mare, and there's a big ownership contingent in with him here this afternoon. Last look at the market, Paul, as the gates are filling for the Champions Mile.
1.6 Voyage Bubble, 5.3 Mr. Brightside, 6.4 My Wish, and 9.1 Galaxy Patch are the 4 horses that are in single figures here.
And you're betting through the Whirlpool this afternoon. He's at 1.6 here as Voyage Bubble. He ran 3rd in this race last year. He won the City Hong Kong Gold Cup. He's won the Stewards Cup twice. He's won the International Mile here in December. He's looking to sweep the mile ranks here of our premier mile events here in Hong Kong, with a win mark in the Champions Mile this afternoon. Voyage Bubble at 1.6.
One a place, Tom. My Wish is yet to come forward. Sunlight Power still out behind the line. We wait for just those 2 to get set at the 1,600 metres. Place money for Mr. Brightside. He's 1.5. Backed on a win line. Gaia Force goes green. He's into 44. Galaxy Patch now 7.2. Purton looking for 4 including 2. Group 1 so far. Racing in the Champions Mile, and Red Line and Voyage Bubble from wide gates both begin fast. On the inside is My Wish of Mr. Brightside, and then came Royal Patronage quickly spearing through the centre. The grey Gaia Force wide from the fellow grey Gaumont. He's one off the fence. From on the inside, Beauty Eternal, and then came Happy Together. Next is Sunlight Power from Cheng Cheng Glory, Beauty Joy, and Galaxy Patch has gone back to last. Red Lion is the leader in the Classic Mile. He leads by a length and a half. Champions Mile, it's Red Lion leading over Voyage Bubble on the outside, and third is My Wish. Fourth is Royal Patronage from Gaya Force, and then came Beauty Eternal against the rail. A length away next is Mr. Brightside from Gaumont 3 wide. Against the rail is Sunlight Power, and then came Happy Together. Next is Beauty Joy. He's racing down on the inside. And Cheng Cheng Glory and Galaxy Patch are the last two. Red Lion leads the way. 600 metres to go. 3/4 on the favourite Voyage Bubble. 3 wide Gaya Force. My Wish has had a terrific run fourth on the rail. Then came Royal Patronage. Gaumont next from Beauty Eternal. Red Lion leads for home. Voyage Bubble's right there on his outside. 2 lengths to Little My Wish, and then came Gaya Force. Voyage Bubble and Red Lion square off for the moment. 2 lengths to My Wish, then came Galaxy Patch. There's no Mr. Brightside. Red Lion's going the race of his life. Voyage Bubble, My Wish, Red Lion kicking over Voyage Bubble. Sunlight Power screaming home. Red Lion, Voyage Bubble, what a finish! It's close to a dead heat in the Champions Mile. Voyage Bubble and Red Lion, who's gone the race of his life. Sunlight Power third, then My Wish, Galaxy Patch. Followed in by Cheng Cheng Glory, Beauty Joy. Next in Happy Together, Gaumont, Royal Patronage, Gaya Force, Beauty Eternal and Mr. Brightside. Who wins it? Voyager, it's going to be Red Lion. It's Red Lion, number 10. It's Hugh Bowman at 90 and 11. Over Voyage Bubble at 1 a place. And Sunlight Power, number 13 at 9.1. It's not official, but on the shutter cam, Bowman's lifted Red Lion. Well, we had a massive upset last year when Beauty Eternal rolled Golden 60 and co, including Voyage Bubble. Let's see it again. It's Red Lion. It's still not official. 13 and 12 have run third and fourth. He just would not surrender. The judge still looking at the photo. You'll hear the roar when they finally announce it. It's the 10. Red Lion's got it. Here's Nick.
Yes, thank you very much, Mark. Yeah, Hughie Bowman didn't quite believe it, but we've seen the number in the frame. Hughie, well done.
Thank you, Nick. He's, I've got to say, I mean, I didn't really expect to win, but the fact that he has is no surprise. He ran second in the race last year, and I've ridden him a lot, and I know him very well, and I'm so proud of him. And congratulations to John and to the ownership group, because he's such a consistent horse, and you know, he's worthy Group 1 winner, but I'm a bit lost for words, to be honest.
You seem as if you are. You mentioned the ownership group, of course. This horse part owned by the Right Honourable Ronnie R. Cully as well, so what a result, really.
Look, it's fantastic, as I said, and look, he's a very consistent, courageous horse, and you know, having had the opportunity to ride him a few times, I had the confidence. I didn't really expect to lead, but full credit to John and his stable, because they've turned him out in fantastic order, and a little bit of moisture in the ground has certainly assisted his chances, and I'm just so proud of him.
Absolutely. Well, he's been more known as a 4,100 metre horse, but a big mile win today. Hughie, she's apples, all right?
She's apples. Thank you.
Purton looking for 4 including 2. Group 1 so far. Racing in the Champions Mile, and Red Lion and Voyage Bubble from wide gates both begin fast. On the inside is My Wish of Mr. Brightside, and then came Royal Patronage quickly spearing through the centre. The grey Gaya Force wide from the fellow grey Gaumont. He's one off the fence. From on the inside, Beauty Eternal, and then came Happy Together. Next is Sunlight Power from Cheng Cheng Glory, Beauty Joy, and Galaxy Patch has gone back to last. Red Lion is the leader in the Classic Mile. He leads by a length and a half. Champions Mile, it's Red Lion leading over Voyage Bubble on the outside, and third is My Wish. Fourth is Royal Patronage from Gaya Force, and then came Beauty Eternal against the rail. A length away next is Mr. Brightside from Gaumont 3 wide. Against the rail is Sunlight Power, and then came Happy Together. Next is Beauty Joy. He's racing down on the inside. and Ching Ching Glory and Galaxy Patch are the last two. Red Lion leads the way. 600 metres to go. 3/4 on the favourite Voyage Bubble. 3 wide Gay of Force. My Wish has had a terrific run fourth on the rail. Then came Royal Patronage. Gaumont next from Beauty Eternal. Red Lion leads for home. Voyage Bubble's right there on his outside. 2 lengths to Little My Wish, and then came Gay of Force. Voyage Bubble and Red Lion square off for the moment. 2 lengths to My Wish. Then came Galaxy Patch. There's no Mr. Brightside. Red Lion's going the race of his life. Voyage Bubble, My Wish. Red Lion kicking over Voyage Bubble. Sunlight Power screaming home. Red Lion, Voyage Bubble. What a finish! There's more to play out here after the Champions Mile. It is second verse first. The inquiry signal is up here at Sharton. The numbers 10, 2, 13 and 12. The official margin, a short header, but there is an inquiry, second verse first. We'll try and bring you some footage shortly of the head-on when it does become available. But Jenny, a bit more to play out here after a dramatic finish to the Champions Mile.
Oh, it certainly was, and there's a short head in this margin as well. So there is a lot of money up for grabs, that's for sure. And from the side-on view, I've got to say, Tom, I couldn't really see anything that went on, but if we get a look at the head-on, we might be able to give you a chance to see what took place there, and if it is in the straight as well.
Did you notice anything there? Obvious, Paul, obviously down here, hard to notice on the limited vision that we have seen. I can only repeat what we've seen is what you've seen at home, and it was hard to tell if there was anything there.
No, exactly right. I mean, the one thing I would say is he did come around the turn sort of on the rail, and then Sunlight Power was on his inside when they were coming sort of down the straight towards the finish. So I don't know if he rolled off or if he rolled off into the runner-up there in Voyage Bubble. But once we see a head-on, we'll probably get a clearer idea.
1:33.21 the winner's time. This is a horse, Jenny, here in Hong Kong that's never won over 1,600 metres.
No, incredible. And look, by our leading trainer as well in John Size, who champion trainer over numerous years here in Hong Kong, does such a great job with these types of horses. He's a bit on the plain side to look at, but he's just trained him to perfection here today, and he flew out of the gate, so he really did make good use of that good gate speed that he's got, because he drew gate 12 and he was up there on the pace the whole way. So I'm interested to watch the head-on of this inquiry, because I couldn't see anything from the outside view of it, but maybe there is something there. We'll have to wait and see.
And we will try and bring you that vision when it does become available. We're standing by for that. Overall, Paul, what did you make of the first stages of the race? Because obviously we thought Royal Patronage was going to be up somewhere near the pace. I thought if he wasn't, Voyage Bubble would somewhere be up there in that sort of firing line. We'll come back to that shortly, in fact, because now we've got the patrol footage, so we'll see what we can see now. Can confirm there's an inquiry and an objection now. So this is definitely going to the steward's room. 10, 2, 13 and 12. From the start, Red Line, Bowman positive out wide of Voyage Bubble going forward. Royal Patronage is there, Jenny, and then they just sort of, I wonder if they just try and restrain him, and you can see he is pulling a bit there too, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly is. But keep an eye on these two, because Huey goes in front of Voyage Bubble here, but there's no interference there, so it's certainly not in that position there. And Voyage Bubble just comes towards his outside. You can see My Wish a little bit fired up on the fence there, given a nice ride by Luke from gate number 1. He's still stuck on very well. He's a good 4-year-old, that's for sure. We'll be seeing more of him. But as they come into the straight here, there has been nothing between these two as far as interference goes at this stage of the race.
See Galaxy patch back towards the end of the field. He's covering some ground. Mr. Brightside's midfield, but he does weaken tamely in the straight, does Mr. Brightside. So here's the crucial stages coming into the home straight now. You can see Red Line in front of the Voyage Bubble. Gaia Force has done it tough throughout. Royal Patronage right behind them is My Wish, Beauty Eternal over on the inside. So Red Line at this point is just off the fence. Voyage Bubble's there to his outside. Red Line's probably a little further off the fence now, and he's just moving out ever so gradually as they make their way down past the 200 metres. So he's probably a good 3 horse widths, I'd say, off the fence at this point. Important to note they haven't come together. Here in the shadows of the post, you can see the hedge line there on the inside. That means they're getting very close to the winning post. The faintest of touches, Jenny. The faintest.
And it was one. It was one, and it was very close to the line. I've got to say, I don't think it would have made much of a difference.
We'll try and bring up another angle of that
Paul. So when you're getting close to the hedge line there, when you can see that hedge line, that's basically the beginning of near the winning post, that hedge line. I'd say that's probably maybe a good 10 metres, 15 metres, possibly max before the winning line. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I agree with Jenny. I thought, it was just that one touch. Well, let's have another look at the 400 here, and you can see it when they do come together. And it'll be quite good to see another angle to see how far away it was from the winning post.
So when they get to the green marker there on the fence, you can see that's at the 200 metres. So they're inside the 200 metres. The next mark is an orange marker. That's the 100. So they're inside the 100. So now the winning post is coming up. One little brush before the winning post.
It's just normal race riding, really. There was hardly anything in that, I believe, anyway. I could be wrong. It's up for the stewards to sort it out. There's no doubt about that. Obviously, they've put in an inquiry, and now James McDonald has also lodged an objection as well. So they'll be in there. They'll be trying to sort this out. I just didn't think, personally, I didn't think there was enough in that.
Yeah, you can see Galaxy Patch making ground. Sunlight Power, Paul, he has run the race of his life today.
He has, hasn't he? And as has Red Lion, to be fair. I mean, as we were saying before, he hasn't won over 16, but did run second in this race last year. Drew wide, and look, when Royal Patronage didn't want to take up the lead, Hugh Bowman said, thanks very much, I'll do it. And that's why he's gone across, and that's probably how he's got his head in front.
Is there? I'm not barracking for anyone, but I'm saying, is there a case that James can make that red lines come further off the fence than where he was in the early part of the straight? Can they make that case?
Well, he can make that case. They didn't come into contact during that, so he was sort of happy to veer off with him. But
and the other crucial thing is, did McDonald stop riding?
I don't think he
did,
did he?
No.
Well, we might take one more look at it, but I don't think he did. But the only other thing is, the horse is, Voyage Bubble is in front after the post, so he was coming. So maybe they'll go with that angle. But I mean, it's up to the boys to sort that out.
So we're in a state of a holding pattern here at Sha Tin following the Champions Mile, with it being second versus first. 10, 2, 13 and 12. Second versus first when it comes to the Champions Mile. We'll see if we can get our team in the control room to bring that head-on footage up again, just so we can have a glance at that again. Paul, as I mentioned to Jenny, have they got any grounds, not only just on that little bump, as we see the saddle going on Voyage Bubble. That's standard practice, so don't read anything into that to this point. They'll both walk around with a saddle, and when you see a saddle coming off a particular runner, that means we are close to a result. So Paul, can they make any grounds on that red line sort of dictated the line in that sort of early part, middle part of the straight where he's come further off the fence?
I'm sure James McDonald will be using all his courtroom skills there. He'll be looking at everything. I've got no doubt whatsoever.
Yeah, so fascinating end here. You can see.
He didn't break his stride, did he? That's the thing.
10's being led away here.
Oh, wow.
So.
Oh, but this will be presented out on the grass.
Ah, yes, of course. Of course. So we'll. Won't read anything into that just yet. The inquiry and objection sign is still up here at Sha Tin. So a fascinating end to the second of our Group 1 races here this afternoon. I mentioned to you off air, Jenny, I wonder if all said and done, once the wash-up of this has gone through, if Ricky Yu has any regrets running the mile instead of the 2,000 metre race after the way Bubble was finished off today.
Well, look, he was very strong on the line there, wasn't he? So, that will probably come into calculation as far as, the protest goes as well. Look, you'd have to ask Ricky, wouldn't you? I was a bit surprised that he wasn't in the 2,000 as opposed to the 1,600, but he's still run a fantastic race today.
Listening to Ricky Yu, who'd been interviewed during the week, Paul, it definitely still sounded like leading into today, all going well following today, that the Triple Crown over the 2,400 metres for him was still potentially well and truly on the radar.
Well, there's decisions to be made, isn't there? I mean, they'll see what happens after this race when he comes out of it, and they'll sort of make a decision, I'm sure, on the cold light of day whether they're going to have a crack at it or not. But look, as you guys have said, he was strong to the line over a mile.
So the next race, there's probably going to be a delay to the next event on the card, which of course is the FWD QE2 Cup. And let's not forget, the owner of Red Lion has had a big association, Ginny, with the FWD, the Honourable Ronald R. Cooley, and great to see his colours associated with a terrific horse, him and Joanna.
Yes, absolutely, and we wish him all the very best. I believe he hasn't been in the best of health, but yes, he'd be very nervous at the moment. This won't be helping him.
No, it won't. So the QE2 Cup time to go at 4:40, which by my time now it's just after 4:15 local time. So we'll stand by to see if there's going to be a delay to our next events on the program here at Sharton with that inquiry in the room. The stewards panel there will be no doubt hearing through that evidence. Mr. Brightside, Paul, in a good enough position, sort of midfield one off there, but found nothing in the straight, so they'd be bitterly disappointed because everything had been going so well leading into today.
It had it uninterrupted. Everything, as you mentioned, was going nicely, but yeah, the horse was a little bit disappointing here this afternoon.
Not sure what else we can add at this point, Ginny.
No, we're just waiting for this result, and at this stage, nothing. 1:33.21 they have run, so it's been a good time once again.
Indeed, it certainly was there, and the track record for this 1600 metres is 1:32.24. Here we are. We're going to bring you the head-on footage once more here to you, and you can see Red Lion on the inside. He's probably a good 2 horsewidths off the rail at this point. Well, probably 3 now, because you can take a line sort of through Beauty Eternal behind him with the Sunlight Power. So he's a good 3 horse off the rail here at this point. They're getting down to the final 100 metres now, and then they get close to the winning post there, and there's a little bit of hip and shoulder there in the concluding stages. But is it enough to overturn a short head margin? I'm not totally sure.
Yeah.
But it is going on a wee while.
I was going to ask you, because you've asked me, and I don't think so. So, as I said, it's up to the stewards, but that's just my opinion, and you'd be...
I'm in favour of Red Lion holding it.
Yes.
On the evidence that we've seen.
Okay.
But
we could be wrong.
There is precedence of what was the Casper Founds horse, Paul, earlier on in the season leading into the Derby. Obviously winning gold got the result in the stewards room.
Yeah, he did. That was the Sky Hut. Was it Sky Hut?
Yes, I think it might have been.
Right.
Yeah, Sky Hut. Yeah, that could have gone either way, couldn't it?
And there was a lot of people sort of suggesting that Sky Hut should have held that race, and the stewards went the other way. So it's up to Chief Stipendiary Steward Mark Van Gestel and his team to decide the result here on the Champions Mile here this afternoon at Sharton, whether it stays as they've passed the post, those numbers 10, 2, 13 and 12, or it is upheld. But we're standing by for news to come through on that. So the inquiry and objection ongoing here at Sharton.
The longer it goes on, you always wonder, don't you?
I'd love to be a fly on the wall in there, Ginny.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
To hear what case
really
James
do
McDonald...
need to get the cameras in there, don't we?
Yeah, it'd be fascinating to be able to do that. James McDonald. And it looks like the dress rug is going on, the 10 here, so it's been overruled.
Oh, there we go.
No change to placings here at Sharton. 10, 2, 13 and 12. A big cheer from the crowd around the parade ring, and it has been overruled. There is no change to placings. Red Lion is the winner of the FWD Champions Mile here at Sharton today at a huge price, upsetting the odds-on favourite Voyage Bubble. 13 has run third, and that of course was Sunlight Power. So Ricky, you second and third, with number 12 My Wish staying on there for a fourth. And Let's not forget, Paul, he's run a slashing race this afternoon. He kicked the season off on a rating of 54. He's close in a derby, and now he's fourth in a Group 1 mile.
Yeah, amazing run from him as well, because he did over-race in the early stages of the race, so he didn't get everything to go his way. And what a good run from Sunlight Power in then for third. And we'll give you these dividends as they come up now. 908 and 117, 1050 for the favourite second, 91.50 Sunlight Power for third. Quinella 2 and 10, 478.50. The forecast 10 to beat 2, 2,450. The trio 2, 10 and 13, 4,347. And the test 10, 2 and 13, 49,754. Quinella places on screen there, and they've weighed in race number 7 here, and it's all official, and the second of our Group 1s.
So no change to placings, and it's great to see the Honourable Ronald Arculli here at Sha Tin this afternoon here with his mile champion, Red Lion, who has shocked Sha Tin racecourse here this afternoon with that big price win. As before we heard Jenny from Hugh Bowman saying Hughie wasn't really expecting this afternoon.
No, well, it's a pleasant surprise, isn't it, when you're not expecting it and your horse wins at 90 to 1 in a big race like this. The prize money is enormous, and John Syde's done a fantastic job with this horse. He was given a great ride too. As Hughie said, he wasn't expecting to lead himself, but he jumped so well, he sort of put himself there, and he was able to just to sustain that and withhold a protest as well. So not the easiest of wins, but he's got it done.
So the photo about to take place here on the track this afternoon. This is the photo that all the owners want to here in Hong Kong in front of the winning post, and Red Lion is going to get his moment of glory here this afternoon. We'll be standing by to take you down to the presentation. Obviously, we're a little over 16 or 17 minutes away from the next race here this afternoon at Sha Tin, the FWD QE2 Cup, but we may be in for a slight delay. Nothing official yet, but when we get that news to you, we will bring it to you. It's just on 24 minutes past 4 local time here in Hong Kong, so that race around about 16 or so minutes away. And Hugh Bowman, Jenny, no stranger to big race wins here in Hong Kong.
No, not at all. And you look, let's go back to the protest there. I mean, you've got Hugh Bowman and James McDonald up against each other in the stewards' room. The footage of that would have been awesome to have, wouldn't it? So let's hope we can move things forward and possibly be able to do that in the not too distant future, because to hear what these boys had to say and how they stated their cases would have made it really interesting TV.
Yeah, certainly would have. And the Honourable Ronald Arculli and Joanna Arculli, the successful owners, Paul, and these are some famous colours when it comes to Hong Kong racing, aren't they?
No, and around the world as well. We've seen Melbourne Cups run second in the Melbourne Cup a couple of times.
Red Cadeau,
yeah, as well. They normally have the red prefix there in their names, and this is no exception here with the Red Lion. A 90 to 1 winner. Tom, I can tell you, looking at the clock here, it says it's 24 minutes to the race, so I presume it's back 10 minutes.
Yeah, that sounds like about right. So we'll get official confirmation on that when it does come to hand. So there is Larry Young, obviously great supporter of course, the Arculli family as well, and a long time owner here in Hong Kong as well, Jenny, with the Express horses, and he's out there supporting his great friends this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, his horse just was narrowly
位來賓，富衛保險冠軍一哩賽頒獎儀式現在開始。
Ladies and gentlemen, the trophy presentation ceremony of the FWD Champions Mile will now commence.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, two such contrasting races for our first two international races today on FWD Day here at Sha Tin. From the ease and grace and sublime elegance of QEII Rising, all going to script, pure unscripted theatre in the FWD Champions Mile. As close to finish as you could imagine between the winner, Red Lion, and the runner-up Voyage Bubble, and then the drama in the stewards' room after. But the first past the post keeps the race. Red Lion it is. Please congratulate your dramatic winner of the FWD Champions Mile.
Congratulations once again, Red Lion representing Hong Kong, China. 富衛保險冠軍一哩賽嘅得主已經順利誕生，係由嚟自中國香港嘅鴻運帝王勝出㗎，恭喜晒！
And may we now invite our club's Deputy Chairman, the Honourable Martin Yao, to present the main trophy and a miniature to the winning owners. The Honourable Ronald Alkali and Joanna KJ Alkali, the winning owners of Red Lion.
我哋本會副主席廖長江先生現正咧，就係將呢個富衛保險冠軍一哩賽嘅主杯啦，就係頒發俾咧我哋勝出頭馬鴻運帝王嘅馬主夏佳利先生㗎。咁仲有咧我哋嘅小型獎杯啊！ Yes, and also our miniature also received by Mr. Akali. 恭喜晒我哋嘅勝出馬主夏佳利與夏安麗嘅。
Mr. Alkali, of course, synonymous with racing here in Hong Kong, serving as the chairman of the club from 2002 to 2006 and also instrumental in founding FWD, the generous supporters of today's card. So we couldn't have had a more appropriate winner in Red Lion. Congratulations to you both. Congratulations also to the trainer. He shocked you all last year with Beauty Eternal. He shocked you even more today. He is, of course, the great John Size.
副主席而家將小型獎杯頒發俾我哋勝出馬匹嘅練馬師蔡日韓，恭喜晒！
And finally, a masterful ride. Horse may have been 90 to 1, but the jockey wasn't going to let that stop him. He is, of course, Hugh Bowman.
麻煩副主席咧，將我哋嘅小型獎杯亦都頒發俾我哋勝出馬匹嘅騎師Bowman. Thank you so much, our Deputy Chairman.
And may we now invite Professor Frederick Ma, Chairman of the Board of the FWD Group, to present a souvenir trophy to the winning owners, the Honourable Ronald Arcouli and Joanna KJ Arcouli. Mr. Ma, I'd love you to do the honours for us.
富衛集團董事會主席馬時亨教授咧，而家將我哋嘅紀念獎杯致送俾我哋勝出馬匹嘅馬主夏嘉里與夏安麗㗎。
And Professor Ma, if I could invite you to present a souvenir silver trophy to the winning trainer as well. John Size once again.
咁而家咧，馬教授咧亦都係將我哋嘅紀念獎杯咧，就致送俾我哋勝出馬匹嘅練馬師蔡若翰先生㗎。
Thank you very much, Professor Ma. Lastly, may we invite Mr. Ken Lau, Managing Director of Greater China and Hong Kong, Chief Executive Officer of FWD, to present a souvenir silver trophy to the winning jockey. He is, of course, Hugh Bowman.
富衛大中華區常務董事兼香港行政總裁柳志堅先生現正咧就係將我哋嘅紀念獎杯致送俾我哋勝出馬匹嘅騎師 Bowman. Thank you so much, Mr. Liu.
Now, of course, with some beautiful hardware on display, we take the traditional group photograph to conclude the presentation for the FWD Champions Mile 2025. Let's look at the cameras in front for a very special memento of a thrilling horse race. And now, please, ladies and gentlemen, stand for the national anthem of the winning country, China.
跟住落嚟，我哋有請香港警察樂隊演奏勝出頭馬所代表國家中國嘅國歌，有請各位起立並隨舞奏國歌。
That concludes the trophy presentation, ladies and gentlemen, for the FWD QE2 Cup will be held as race 8, so that comes up next, and we will see you all again in a few moments' time.
富衛保險冠軍一哩賽嘅頒獎儀式已經圓滿結束啦！陣間我哋第8場賽事，富衛保險女皇盃，我哋頒獎禮再見。
Great scenes here at Sharton following the Champions Mile. 24.5, 22.77, 22.94 and 23 even. 133.21 the winner's time for Red Lion, an upset winner of this afternoon's Champion Mile.
Can be slow out of the gates though, Tom. That's always a bit of a worry. He tends to give away a little bit of a start. But if he can get away reasonably here, I would expect him to run a decent race. He does race well here.
Absolutely. The horses are coming in, so we'll let you go and see the horses. Jenny, Paul, what do you think of this race here? Exciting race coming up. Is there a chance with maybe Goliath at the top there, they turn this race into a proper staying test?
Well, there is that option because he's drawn wide. He's second favourite at the moment at 5.4, but the Pride of New Zealand, El Vencedor, he's going to be right there on the pace. So Zach Purdon's really got options from barrier number 1, and they'll decide what they want to do. They can either lead or they can trail there as well. But Goliath can go and put pressure on. Moments and Times, another one that's led in the past, one of the locals at a big price. But at this stage, the Japanese horse Prognosis is the favourite at 3.9.
James McDonald looking for redemption from the previous race, of course, going down ever so close with the Voyage Bubble in the Champions Mile. As you can see, a big crowd gathering behind me here in the parade ring, and runners are in the yard for the $28 million FWD QE2 Cup, and we can rip into the runners shortly. Paul, a quick update on the market?
Yeah, so it's Goliath 5.4, 3.8 Prognosis, 9.1 Testiera, Caliph at 55, 8.7 El Vencedor, 19 Straight Aaron, 11 Ensued, Moments in Time 19, 11 Cape Ferrar, 7.8 Ruby Lot, and Liberty Island, a third of the Japanese, she's at 8.1. You can see them now on the All-Ups, and the big mover on the All-Ups was actually Ensued, who came in from 18 to 10 with John Sires winning the previous at a big price.
Now just note this race is 13.5 minutes away. The start time is now 4:50 local time here in Hong Kong, so 4:50 for this year's edition of the QE2 Cup, sponsored by FWD, and of course you can bet through the World Pool here. And there is confirmation of the start times for the final 3 races. Races 8, 9 and 10 are all back at 10 minutes. Let's start, Jenny, with Goliath, and he doesn't go unnoticed with that leg action he has in behind.
Yeah, the string halter, that is for sure. And you can hear him when he's close to you. You can hear him just stamp that hind leg down, that near side there. Now, this doesn't generally affect their galloping action. I gather he's had this for quite some time, so I'm happy enough to ignore that. Other than that, the horse actually looks really well. He looks very, very fit. He's really healthy. He's beautifully behaved, and in front he actually walks out really well. So I think he looks good.
Let's have a look at Prognosis now, who's been to Hong Kong 3 times and gone close in all 3 of those starts. But the big headache for him, Jenny, is that he normally does give them a start.
Yeah, he can, and that's unfortunate because you don't want to give away a start in a race like this, that's for sure. But he is talented. There is no 2 ways about that. This race last year, he probably or arguably should have won. But looking at him here, he's a very neat type of horse. He's bandaged on all 4 legs. He just slides slightly warm around the flank area, but that's it. He's very fit and he looks well. He's just having a tentative look around, but in a good way. He's not doing anything wrong, so he's good.
He's a Japanese Derby winner as Tastier as well. Jenny, horse number 3, and he finished third in the Hong Kong Cup going back to last calendar year.
Yeah, nice horse, Tastiara. She looks terrific. She's a horse that's got a bit of athleticism about her. Oh, I should say he. He is an entire, so I correct myself there. He's got a lot of athleticism about him. He looks great. He's walking out well. He's beautifully behaved as well, so he definitely looks good.
Great to have the Bahrainians represented here with Caliph Jenny, 9th in the Shima Classic. Probably not the ideal run leading into this, and El Vencedor. So 4 and 5, please.
The 4 horse is a 6-year-old gelding. He is actually parading quite nicely. He's got a bit of size about him. He looks really healthy in his coat. He's also got some strength in the shoulder. He does appear to be walking out freely. So he certainly gets a pass. He looks in pretty good nick, actually. So he parades well. I like his strength. The 5 horse is a bit of a different type. He's about your average height. He carries a little bit of weight around the midsection there. He's very strong in the shoulder. He does walk out cleanly though, and his attitude is good. So he's very solid, stocky type of horse. I've got him probably more as a place chance.
We might come back to Straight Aaron shortly, Jenny. What about Ensued, who we've got on screen now? Of course, he ran a super race last time out.
Ensued, yes. So just let me get to him as I have a look at Straight Aaron as he goes past, who looks good, by the way. Ensued is nicely behaved. He looks very fit, nice and alert, walking out freely, very, very fit. So I'm going to consider him. He looks well.
Moments in Time, obviously a big step up here for him, but his best run in Hong Kong last start certainly was the Chairman's Trophy, a career best here.
Yeah, it definitely was. And he's a nice horse. He's a well put together type. He's very strong all over, quite a stocky type of horse, but beautifully behaved as well. Walk-wise, may need a tiny little loosen up in front, but it's very minor, not enough to be worried about.
Cap Farrar, of course, the Derby winner. Jenny got all favours there, but he's got that advantage now that he is a winner and he could potentially go on with it.
He could. He does look really well behaved, actually. He seems to have come out of the Derby quite nicely. Now, he's not a strong-bodied horse, but he's a very, very good walker. And on Derby Day, he looks so fit. And he does again here today. So I don't think he'll disgrace whatever he does here. He looks good. As Hugh Bowman gets a cheer from the crowd down this end.
What about Ruby Lot, Jenny? We just had him on screen.
Yeah, Ruby Lot, yeah, he's looking good. He's a strong horse. He's a sensible type. He continues to walk out well. He still looks fit, so he's good.
Here we go, Liberty Island.
And Liberty Island, yeah, look, he's she's bandaged on all 4 legs. She's just sweating up a little bit around the flank area there. I have seen her in the past. She doesn't tend to carry much excess condition, so she always looks a bit on the lean side, but she's a very talented mare, and her behaviour has been good. She's just slightly warm in little patches here and there. Once again, not enough to be concerned about. Doesn't look bad, so maybe a place chance for her.
Tastiera judged the best turned out horse in the yard. Quickly, Jenny, on Straight Aaron as well, the Chairman's Trophy winner.
Yeah, I thought he looked really well, actually, Straight Aaron. I think, you know, it's a very tough assignment for him here. I'm not sure that he can repeat that last performance in Group 1 level, or at Group 1 level, but I thought he paraded really well, so he's in good order.
Okay, that is the report there on Straight Aaron. Just seeing if our man Nick Child is standing by with some connections here to speak to prior to the FWD QE2 Cup this afternoon. I think he is standing by with the trainer of Goliath. Let's head over to Nick now.
Yes, indeed, Tom. Thank you indeed. Francis Henri Graff and John Stewart have very kindly joined me. Francis, if I may come to you first, great to have you here. Great to have your horse here.
Yes, no, thank you for having us here. It's a fantastic opportunity and a great race to be part of.
And when did this become the plan to bring him to Hong Kong?
Well, obviously, through the winter we were working on the program, and the idea was probably to drop him back in distance to start in, and it's a big race, you know, so we decided to come over here.
This is his first run over 10 furlongs. Is there any concern with that, or the fact that he is that bit fresh? Do you think he'll get away with it?
No, I think the distance won't be a problem. He needs a bit of pace in running, and the horse is in good form. The only thing is he hasn't run for 6 months, so it's always a first race of the season. That's the big question.
we spoke to Christophe Soumillon on one of our TV shows. I mentioned the ground to him. He's very versatile. His form in the King George obviously very strong, so he's got plenty going for him, of course.
He's a fantastic horse. When things goes his way, he's a real champion, this horse. So I'm very happy the heat is not too strong today. It's helped us.
Yeah, indeed. We certainly look forward to seeing him. And John Stewart, great to have you here. Lovely to see you at Charlton. How much are you enjoying it?
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, we got here yesterday, and so the hospitality's been fantastic, and so we're just really excited to be here.
And he's really garnered a following, this horse, hasn't he, John? I mean, he's really been taken to people's hearts, and he's got that following, and great to have him here in Hong Kong.
Yeah, no, it's great to have him, and we want to campaign him all around the world, and so we're excited to start the year here in Hong Kong.
John, I know I must let you go, but thanks for chatting to us, and best of luck.
Sure, thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, John. Thank you, Nick, and thank you to Francis Graffard and also John Stewart for joining us on the coverage this afternoon. The top 4 from the yard, Jenny, for the FWD QE2 Cup.
All right, number 3 on top for me, Testiera. I thought he paraded beautifully. He's such a nice horse, very strong in all the right places, and he looks really fit. He was walking out beautifully, so I do have him on top of number 1, Goliath. I'm happy to ignore that string hold of his. Gee, looks fit. He looks so good in his coat as well. Attitude was good in the parade, walking out well in front. So he goes in. I thought the 2, Prognosis, paraded well, slightly warm around the flank area, but very neat type of horse, sensible. And the 7 horse, Ensued. One from the John Size yard. He looks really fit and well. I thought the Derby favourite didn't look, the Derby winner didn't look too bad either. He would have been next best, but 3, 1, 2 and 7 for me.
Thank you, Jenny. Upstairs, Mark, your thoughts as they parade in front of the stands here for the final of the Group 1s.
They do indeed, Tom. Prognosis, this has to be it. He's run second in this race at his last 2 years behind Romantic Warrior. He's not here. James McDonald takes the ride on him this afternoon. Hopefully he's not too slow out of the gates. Yet to win a Group 1, this is his time that he can do it. He's not going to get too many better opportunities, certainly in Hong Kong, than what he's going to get in 4 minutes' time from now. He goes on top to beat number 11, Liberty Island. If she can repeat what we saw from her when she was here back in December, there's no reason why she can't go close to finishing over the top of them here. Not at her best in Dubai, we know that, but she has performed at Sha Tin. Goliath goes in as he funny walks down to the gate. Second time at 2,000 metres, so the distance is a query, and they do start in front of a pack stand, and he did get revved up by the crowd in Tokyo. And 5 El Vencedor, Purton on a front runner over 2,000 metres on a big day. That's enough to put him in, if nothing else. And the fact he has won 3 Group 1s in the space of about a month in New Zealand comes here with strong form and a perfect gate. 2, 11, 1 and 5, Paul for the 8th.
Yeah, similar with me. I'm with Prognosis, the Japanese to beat. The Japanese Queen out of Liberty Island in there for second. El Vencedor, I know the whole of New Zealand are there watching El Vencedor here this afternoon, and he comes in with solid form from New Zealand, and he is likely to go forward and roll forward. And the other Japanese, Testiera, in there for third. So 2, 11, 5 and 3 for me.
The way here of 2 Prognosis to beat 1 Goliath. I thought they were the main 2. A lot of respect, Liberty Island. Some talk that she might have been in season over in Dubai, which was why she was below her best there, and cannot leave Testiera out as well. I've made Prognosis my best this afternoon. 2, 1, 11 and 3. Nick Child's numbers coming up on screen for you in a moment as well. 1, 2, 3 and 7. What about the selections of Nick Luck for the QE2 Cup?
I like Prognosis, Tom. I think he's got a perfect setup potentially here. I like the booking of James McDonald, obviously, who wouldn't, but I think he's just the type of quirky horse that he might get the best out of. He'll miss the break, probably, but as long as he doesn't miss it catastrophically and he can get himself into the race and the pace is honest enough, then he can get into it and play his card latest of all. It's impossible to see Testiera running a bad race. A hard-knocking pace pusher. Though you'd worry a little bit that the Kiwi runner from the inside, El Vencedor, will give him a little bit to think about. And I think there's only one way that Zach Purton's going to play that, and that's to drive forward. I think Goliath will run well. I think he'll hit the board.
Do you think there's any chance they try and turn it into a proper staying test at all with Goliath?
What, just get out there and get rolling?
Yeah.
I mean, they could do, but the fastest way to get, and I'm not calling him slow, but the old saying is the fastest way to get a slow horse beat is to try and make him go too fast. So I'm not sure that would necessarily be the right thing to do. He is high class, and he likes races to peel apart around him. That's how he won the King George. He was running perfect even fractions while they were going too fast in front with 3 Ballydoyle pacemakers. I do think he's just talented enough that he's going to hit the frame, but he wants another couple hundred metres to be seen at his best.
I know you've got to get out for the presentation, so we appreciate your time here on the coverage this afternoon, and we look forward to tuning into your show later.
Thank you very much. I just want to thank all your team and everyone at the club here for being so accommodating and letting us do our Luck on Sunday show from here today, live from Sha Tin. Going back home, if anyone's watching, you can tune in on Racing TV. It's whatever it is. It's 6:30 local time, so it's 11:30 back home.
Thanks, Nick.
Plug-in. Thanks, both.
As we see runners parading behind the gates there, Paul, what's the play for the QE2 Cup and the state of the market?
The 2 Japanese with the New Zealand horse here. So Prognosis, who's now at a 3.4, I know he's your best, and there is money coming for the other Japanese test here at 6.6. But Liberty Island's coming in at 6.9. So the 3 Japanese are all getting really well backed here. The Drifters, Goliath 5.5. El Vencedor is now out to 10, double figures about him. Ruby Lot's drifted out to 11, and Shoot, who did come right in with the all-ups, is now drifting back out. He's out to 13. But at this stage, Prognosis at 3.4 looks like he's going to start favourite for the 2025 QE2 Cup.
Okay, so he's the favourite through the world pool at the moment is Prognosis. First time, Jenny, you would have laid your eyes on El Vencedor, who in the modern era of New Zealand racing won 3 Group 1s in the space of 4 weeks, which I don't think there would be any, if any, horses that have done that. He obviously had a little bit of an issue when he first arrived. Do you think some of his New Zealand form can stack up here, or has he got a little bit to find on his rating?
Well, I really hope he does, because, you know, it'd be great to have a horse representing New Zealand perform at its very best here. And look, he's coming in here with Group 1 winning form, so he is a horse that should be respected. As far as looks go, he's pretty quiet and relaxed in the parade. He carries a little bit of weight around the midsection. He's a bit of a different type to look at, but he is very strong, but not overly tall.
Yeah, he got a little bit sort of stirred up earlier in the week when he first came out onto the track here at Sha Tin with the big screens and the monstrous grandstands we have here at Sha Tin. Obviously had a dogfight with La Creek, who's been a very handy mare back in NZ over the final stages of the New Zealand Stakes, and had a nice run just off the pace in the Wait for Age Classic at Ellerslie, and was able to prevail there by some margin. And he's 9-1 in the world pool if you happen to like him. Paul, Ruby Lot, I'm starting to wonder sort of what the best sort of trip is for Ruby Lot these days.
Yeah, we don't really know, do we? He went through the 4-year-old series, Ruby Lot. Didn't really perform in the Derby, but was really good in the 2 lead-up races. So he's just got to do it over 2,000 metres once again. He's a notable drifter. He was single figures when the market opened. He's now drifted out to 12 at Ruby Lot. So, yeah, I agree with you, Tom. I'm not really sure. I don't think they know either. So that's why the jury's out with Ruby Lot. But they're having another crack here at the 2,000 metres.
They are, and I know he had a lead-up run last time out, Jenny, in the Class 1 over the 1,400 metres behind Divano. A sectional time, I thought the last 400 wasn't too bad there, 22.38, and he got not saying a bit of pressure in the Derby, but he was just sort of getting buffeted by a few runners in the Derby, which didn't help at some points as well.
Well, that is true. So he had a few excuses in the Derby, and he didn't run badly. He's finished 8th there, beaten 5 lengths, so not a huge margin. And prior to that, he'd been really a very consistent type of horse. So, yes, he's an interesting runner. Stepping back up to the 2,000 here is much more suitable for him, I feel.
In your heart of hearts, Paul, who do you believe is the best Hong Kong runner to give this a shake this afternoon?
Yeah, it's not the strongest, is it? But look, I wouldn't be surprised to see Ruby Lot run a bit of a race here over the 2,000 metres. So I think it's him or Cape Ferrao, you know, who did win the Derby.
Yeah, he certainly did. And obviously a few people were put off by him with a couple of his other lead-up runs leading into the Derby. Of course, his first-up run was very good, and then he had the perfect run with Craig Williams behind the speed at last time out. We're getting set for the 3rd and final of the Group 1s this afternoon here at Sha Tin. It is the FWD QE2 Cup. The World Pool favourite is number 2, Prognosis. Japan, the last time Romantic Warrior wasn't in this race was 2021, and they ran 1, 2, 3 and 4. A lot of late support, Mark McNamara, as we come to you for the Damien Lane mount, Tastiera.
He's pressing for favouritism, Tom, as he goes in and backs out again in the Carrot Farm colours. Prognosis in the gates. He's at 3.44 about Tastiera. So Prognosis straightened up in, goes straight, Aaron. They're ready to go. QE2. for FWD. Racing. Ruby Lot missed it. He was 3 lengths last out of the gates, and the Kiwi began fast. El Vencedor from the inside gate, the Derby winner. Cap Ferrar goes up alongside second from Moments in Time. Tastia is going to be 3 wide into the first turn as Caliph goes through on the rail. Then came Ensued from Goliath. Ruby Lot's recovered against the fence. Straight Aaron third last, and the tail enders Liberty Island, who wants to get their head up, and Prognosis, he's a length away last of all. It's El Vencedor for New Zealand, making his way to the back by the Shingmun River, and he's out by a length and a half over Cap Ferrar. Moments in Time is tucked in third, Tastiera fourth, and the pace backs off into the back straight. Then Caliph and Ensued, a length and a half to Goliath. Ruby Lot's on the rail, and 3 wide Liberty Island takes off. Straight Aaron is second last, and Prognosis being restrained back to the inside. McDonald might be looking to follow the Japanese mare, Liberty Island. Yes, there he goes, as El Vencedor goes to the halfway point, and he's keen now. He's 3 in front, and he's pulling hard. Second is Cap Ferrar, and Tastiera's on the outside of Moments in Time. Then Caliph. 3 wide is Liberty Island. Ensued's in the centre from Goliath. Ruby Lot, Prognosis, and Straight Aaron's on the inside. It's El Vencedor leading in the QE2. He's a length over Cap Ferrar, Tastiera. Moments in Time fourth on the inside. 3 wide, hard-ridden Liberty Island. So too Ensued. Then came Caliph. Coming wide on the turn is Goliath and Prognosis. They're 6 off the lead from Ruby Lot. El Vencedor's all done. Tastiera's run to the lead. Half a length on Cap Ferrar. 3 lengths away, Moments in Time. Caliph's going a big race from Prognosis, but it's Tastiera though. He's out by a length and a half to 2. Over in second spot, Cap Ferrar, Prognosis. Tastiera though for Japan. Prognosis is going to run another placing, but Tastiera won the QE2 and beat home Prognosis and Caliph. Then came Ruby Lot, followed across the line by Ensued, Cap Ferrar, Straight Aaron, Moments in Time, Goliath, El Vencedor, and unfortunately Liberty Island has gone amiss in the home straight and has been pulled up at the 100-metre mark. Tastiera, Damian Lane has won for Japan. It's going to be a bittersweet result for Japan with Tastiera winning it, and hopefully Liberty Island is okay. They've rushed straight to her. But at 3.7 and 1.5, Tastiera has won the QE2. Over 2 Prognosis, what does he need to do? He needs to jump better. That's the answer to that question. He's run second in the race again, and Caliph for Bahrain, the 4 at 11th place, has run third. It's 3, 2 and 4. It's 2 minutes, 0.51. It's inside standard. And the thoughts at the moment with a visibly emotional Yuga Kawada and Liberty Island and her connections. 3, 2, 4, 2 minutes, 0.51. We've got the highs and lows happening here of racing. It is Tastiera, Carrot Farm. Those colours, we see them so often when you take racing from Japan. They travel the world. They've arrived at Sha Tin. They've been backed off the map. It's 1 3/4 a neck. It's 3, 2, 4 and 7. And Damian Lane has arrived at Sha Tin, Nick, and once again, he's going to bring home a major trophy for Japan.
Mark, thank you very much. Damian Lane coming towards me now with Tastiera, and well, it's not unheard of, Damian, for you to come to Hong Kong and bag a big prize, and today's one of the biggest. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, just Janire Kahari, just an amazing conditioner of horses, and to this horse, he's just a star.
And these famous colours, of course, Carrot Farm, they've obviously put so much money into it and breed so many nice horses, and nice to win this one for them, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure. A great success for Northern Farm, Carrot Farm in particular, and to carry that on is just a privilege.
It certainly is. I remember talking to you after Win Marilyn claiming a vase a couple of seasons ago as well. Always great to come here for these big days. It's what it's all about, isn't it?
It's what it's all about. You know, I just feel privileged and lucky to be here on these days, and let alone have great chances riding very good horses. It is what being a jockey is all about, and to compete on at these international carnivals is very rewarding.
For a boy from Bunbury, the association with Japan is a strong one. Very well done.
Thank you very much.
And they're ready to go. QE2 for FWD. Racing. Ruby Lot missed it. He was 3 lengths last out of the gates, and the Kiwi began fast. El Vencedor from the inside gate, the Derby winner. Cap Ferrar goes up alongside second from Moments in Time. Tastia is going to be 3 wide into the first turn as Caliph goes through on the rail. Then came Ensued from Goliath. Ruby Lot's recovered against the fence. Straight Aaron third last, and the tail enders Liberty Island, who wants to get their head up, and Prognosis, he's a length away last of all. It's El Vencedor for New Zealand, making his way to the back by the Shingmun River, and he's out by a length and a half over Cap Ferrar. Moments in Time is tucked in third, Tastiera fourth, and the pace backs off into the back straight. Then Caliph and Ensued, a length and a half to Goliath. Ruby Lot's on the rail, and 3 wide Liberty Island takes off. Straight Aaron is second last, and Prognosis being restrained back to the inside. McDonald might be looking to follow the Japanese mare, Liberty Island. Yes, there he goes, as El Vencedor goes to the halfway point, and he's keen now. He's 3 in front, and he's pulling hard. Second is Cap Ferrar, and Tastiera's on the outside of Moments in Time. Then Caliph. 3 wide is Liberty Island. Ensued's in the centre from Goliath. Ruby Lot, Prognosis, and Straight Aaron's on the inside. It's El Vencedor leading in the QE2. He's a length over Cap Ferrar, Tastiera. Moments in Time fourth on the inside. 3 wide, hard-ridden Liberty Island. So too Ensued. Then came Caliph. Coming wide on the turn is Goliath and Prognosis. They're 6 off the lead from Ruby Lot. El Vencedor's all done. Tastiera's run to the lead. Half a length on Cap Ferrar. 3 lengths away, Moments in Time. Caliph's going a big race from Prognosis, but it's Tastiera though. He's out by a length and a half to 2. Over in second spot, Cap Ferrar, Prognosis. Tastiera though for Japan. Prognosis is going to run another placing, but Tastiera won the QE2. Yeah, superb win there from Tastiera. There was a lot of market support to suggest he was going to run a massive race this afternoon, and that he has over number 2, who was game and defeat again, Prognosis. Not as bad away from the stalls as he has been in the past. Caliph has run the race of his life for Paul, and Ensued there for Hong Kong, the best of the Hong Kong China runners home.
Yeah, he ended up running in fourth, didn't he? But there was a lot of money late for Tastiera. He ended up starting the second favourite at 37.50 and 15.50. Did beat the favourite, which was Prognosis. Japan 1-2 at 15.50, and a big run from the third horse here at 118.50. Quinella 2 and 3, 83. The forecast 3 to beat 2, 168. The trio 2, 3, 4, 979, and the tiers 3, 2, 4, 6,110. And Jenny, they're hard to beat, those Japanese horses.
Well, they certainly can be. Beautifully presented as well, I might say, and well done to Damien Lane, giving that horse a perfect ride from gate number 10, got him over into that 4th position off the fence, and just travelled so beautifully. You could see he had a handful of horse underneath him turning into the straight, and far too strong as it turned out, gone on to win by a decent margin too. So well done to the Japanese connections there. Tastiera, another Group 1 on the board. Of course, he was the 2023 Tokyo Japanese Derby winner.
Yes, he certainly was. The presentation going to happen in the parade ring due to the weather getting a little inclement out front there. Obviously, Jenny, sad scenes in the straight with the Liberty Islands breaking down there over the concluding stages. Devastating for the connections there. Sunday racing. Nakashita is trainer, and visibly upset Yuga Kawada.
Oh, look, my heart goes out to them. It's just tragic when that sort of thing happens. I just experienced that myself with How Deep Is Your Love over in Dubai as well. So, yes, our thoughts are with all the connections there. She's been a great mare. It's just a very sad way to end proceedings there.
Fans around the parade ring are also going to get to see Tastiera come in here for the winning photo as well. Of the rest there, Paul, El Vencedor, he just wanted to get a little fired up going down the back of the track. He obviously got to the front easily, but didn't help himself, did he?
No, he didn't. He had his mouth open all the way down the back there, and that was sort of his undoing, was El Vencedor. But look, Prognosis, he just muffs the start, doesn't he? And he gives him too much of a start. But another really honest run from him there in second. And what can we say about Califf? He's one of the outsiders in the field, and he's run the race of his life.
He certainly has. He didn't exactly put up an astonishing performance by any stretch in the Shima Classic at Dubai, Jenny, when he was 50-1 and didn't beat a rival home. But he ran 6th here in the Cup in December, so it's a huge upgrade on that performance.
Yeah, it certainly is. He's a 6-year-old, and he, to be fair, like he was nicely presented today. He's a horse that's got a fairly decent shoulder on him. He's quite strong, and he's a sensible type as well. So he actually wasn't the worst parader by any means.
Yeah, and obviously given a nice ride there by Artie de Vries, who was in the saddle aboard him this afternoon.
Beautiful head marking on this horse too, hasn't he?
Absolutely. Goliath, Paul?
Yeah, I'd have to have a look at it again. I just wonder if he needs it further.
He got a little bit of interference in the straight. We won't be watching the patrol here this afternoon, but there was some interference, and I think he was involved in that.
I think, Paul, they'd be delighted with the run of Ensue to heading towards potentially a Standard Chartered Champions and Chater Cup coming up over the 2,400 metres next month, because he ran a slashing race in the Vars last year.
He did, didn't he? And that's 4th that he's run today was very, very good, and he wasn't too far away from the placing. So, yeah, definitely one to keep an eye on going into that race on the 25th of May.
Ruby Lot, Jenny, uncharacteristically missed the start quite severely today.
You know what? He hasn't finished all that far away. He was still making ground at the end. So that's been a terrific run from him. How far does he need, though? Because that was 2,000 and he did miss the start. If he gets away on terms, it would have been interesting how close he may have got.
So we see the opening stages and the closing stages here now with Cat Farrar. Paul had put himself right into the race today for Craig Williams.
He did, didn't he? Gave himself every chance there. He was sort of right up close to the pace. So, yeah, he had every chance at Cape Farrar. Other ones there, Straight Aaron, he got quite well back, as he normally does. Once again, wasn't he? You know, but take nothing away from Testiera. Hopefully we'll see his progeny here one day as well, obviously being quite a valuable sire with Testiera as well now, winning all these races. But no, for me, QEII Rising was just superb once again, wasn't he? What about you, Jenny? What was your highlight of the three?
Oh, look, it has to be him. It definitely does. QEII Rising, what a fantastic performance. But let's not take anything away from this horse as they're about to do the trophy presentation for him. He's just got the most beautiful markings. He looks like an oil painting, doesn't he?
He does.
It's divine.
It's almost like a heart. It's not, but you know what I mean. It's just got some amazing head markings on him, and saw
Absolutely beautiful horse. So congratulations to all concerned there. And I'm sure the connections of Caleb, who would just be absolutely rapt how well he went too.
Yeah, exactly. With Caleb, I mean, he really hit the line strongly there for third, and that's his career best that we've seen here anyway. And he did run really well back last time in the Shima Classic, so it's good to show him do that here and hit the line well. And Insured, take nothing away from Insured, best of the locals, right?
Yes, very good run from Insured, no doubt about that. And I thought Cap Ferrar didn't disgrace either after coming out of the Derby too, so a good effort from him. But yes, you can see all the Japanese connections there enjoying the moment.
We need horses like Caliph to run well as well from those emerging racing nations like Bahrain, because they're very important nations going forward for horse racing.
Oh, definitely. They're putting a lot of money into it, and good on them, and it's great to have.
Indeed. So you can see the presentation not far away from getting underway. The Hong Kong Police Band are ready to play the national anthem of the Rising Sun. And so they have weighed in, by the way, on 3, 2, 4 and 7, 2 minutes, 0.51. That winner's time for the FWD.
各位來賓，富衛保險女皇盃頒獎儀式現在開始。
Ladies and gentlemen, the trophy presentation ceremony of the FWD QE2 Cup will now commence.
Ladies and gentlemen, a truly representative field of global stars assembled for the 2025 edition of the FWD QE2 Cup, one of the most prestigious middle distance all-age races in the world, and it was won today. In the Silks carried to success in this race 8 years ago by Neorealism. The winner today was Tastiera.
Congratulations to Tastiera representing Japan, winning the FWD QE2 Cup 2025年度富衛保險女皇盃，已經名花有主，係由嚟自日本嘅健琴高就勝出㗎。
And may we now invite our club's chairman, Mr. Michael Lee, once again to present the FWD QE2 Cup and a bronze horse statuette to, on behalf of the winning ownership, Carrot Farm Company Limited, Machiko Kuroda, the winning owner of Tastiera.
我哋本會主席李子厚先生而家咧就將我哋富衛保險女皇盃以及駿馬銅獎咧頒發俾我哋勝出頭馬健琴高就嘅馬主 Carrot Farm Company Limited 嘅，我哋有請黑田真之子女士代表接受㗎。
And Chairman, if I could also ask you to present the bronze horse statuette to the winning trainer, Noriyuki Hori.
好，我哋 just take a photo with the bronze horse statuette first for our winning owner. Let's all look to the front. Thank you, Ms. Machiko Kuroda. And now let's present the bronze horse statuette to our winning trainer, Noriyuki Hori. Thank you, Chairman. 主席現正咧將駿馬銅獎咧就係頒發俾我哋勝出馬匹嘅練馬師屈宣行嘅。Congratulations.
And finally, Chairman, if you could present the bronze horse statuette to the winning rider, Damien Lane.
主席現正將駿馬銅獎頒發俾我哋勝出馬匹嘅騎師連達文。Congratulations and thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. May we now invite Professor Frederick Ma, Chairman of the Board of the FWD Group, to present a souvenir silver trophy to, once again, the winning owner, Machiko Kuroda, representing Carrot Farm Company Limited.
富衛集團董事會主席馬士亨教授現正將我哋嘅紀念銀杯咧致送俾我哋勝出馬匹嘅馬主 Carrot Farm Company Limited 嘅，我哋有代表嘅黑田女士。
And now, Professor Ma, Chairman of the Board of the FWD Group, I could ask you to present a souvenir silver trophy to the winning trainer, Noriyuki Hori.
麻煩咧馬教授繼續將我哋嘅紀念銀杯致送俾我哋勝出馬匹嘅練馬師屈宣行嘅。Let's look to the front for a photo.
Thank you, gentlemen. And lastly, may we invite Mr. Ken Lau, Managing Director of Greater China and Hong Kong, Chief Executive Officer FWD, to present a souvenir silver trophy to the winning jockey, Damien Lane.
我哋有請富衛大中華區常務董事兼香港行政總裁柳志堅先生咧，就將呢個紀念嘅銀杯致送俾我哋勝出馬匹嘅騎師連達文。And thank you so much, Mr. Lau. Congratulations. Thank you, gentlemen.
Mr. Lau, thank you, and thank you for your support of this wonderful day. Congratulations. Let's all take a group photograph to celebrate the victory of Tastiera.
Everyone,
let's FWT QE2.
Yes, and we must capture this memorable moment. Let's all look to the front at all our media friends here.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd invite you to stand for the national anthem of the winning country, Japan.
跟住落嚟，我哋有請香港警察樂隊演奏勝出頭馬所代表國家日本嘅國歌，有請各位起立並隨舞奏國歌。Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the trophy presentation. Congratulations once again to the owner, trainer and jockey of the winning horse, Tastiera. 多謝晒咁多位富衛保險女皇盃2025嘅頒獎儀式嚟到呢度已經圓滿結束啦！再次恭喜晒肩琴高奏嘅馬主、練馬師同埋騎師嘅富衛保險冠軍賽馬日嘅大抽獎咧，已經咧就截止咗登記啦！得獎者咧喺5點前咧就會陸續收到我哋電話短信啦，或者電話通知嘅，記得留意電話啦，因為我哋6點半之前咧要親身領獎啊，所以留意你哋手提電話。我哋下年冠軍賽馬日再見。
Yeah, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, the FWD Champions Day lucky draw has been carried out, so be sure to keep an eye out. You'll be notified of the result very shortly. Thank you very much.
As we look back down the straight here at Sha Tin, the Chairman's Sprint Prize to QEII Rising for Hong Kong, China, an upset Red Lion in the Champions Mile for Hong Kong, China, and the Land of the Rising Sun, Japan, with Tastiera taking out the FWD QE2 Cup. It's our 3 Group 1 races done and dusted here. The Jockey Challenge is done and dusted as well, with Zach Purton taking that out with 42 points. We've still got 2 races to go. We are officially 19 minutes away from the next here at Sha Tin, and that race now goes at 5:35. It was to take place at 5:20, so there is a 15-minute delay here, and we'll stand by to hear if we've got a delay on the last event as well, because it was due to go at what was 5:55 and then back to 6:05, so we could be back to 6:10 potentially for the last. But there's the times, 2 minutes, .51 on the QE2 Cup.